You're welcome.
Welcome along to the Bet and Bankers, guys. So today we're looking forward to the AC Milan versus Atalanta game. That's going to be the one that we'll kind of mainly be watching, but we'll also be focusing on Serie B, where we expect a lot of goals. That's been the focus of my bet for this evening anyway. So hopefully a lot of goal match action, a lot to cheer on. Some multi-screen action going on here. So trying to watch as many games as possible and cheer them home. Liam, what do you fancy? What's your main fancy this evening?
I think Atalanta are probably the most informed team in sports at the minute. So I'm thinking optimistically going for a high scoring away win in the big Serie A game tonight. AC Milan they're definitely in better form than they were before the break. I think they had a couple of injuries. I think they've actually had a chance to kind of settle down with a lot of good players there, but it wasn't really clicking for them. But it looks to be clicking now. So they're two informed teams now. The stereotype informed Serie A teams is going to produce a 0-0 defensive masterclass. But I'm hoping that these are two attacking minded teams. So not that I have it backed, but I'm going to say 3-2 Atalanta is my entertaining hope for tonight. That's my bet.
It's hard to see that they're not being goals in that game, the way they've both been performing. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I didn't fancy picking a winner on it, so I just went with the goals and plenty of corners as well, like 4 goals, 4 more, 9 or more corners, and then 6 or more cards. So that's paying 17-2, not relying on a winner. So I thought that was a safe enough option.
I'm actually surprised that Atlanta are such a short price. Like they're even money, 11-10 away from home, which it seems short enough.
I think their form is just beyond belief.
They've won so many games, like home anyway.
Yeah, I think their last 17 games is it 14 wins and 3 draws. So it's kind of hard.
No, in fairness, Milan are on decent form since the lockdown as well. Like they're unbeaten in about their last 10, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's not as if they're playing against mugs, like that way.
Yeah.
So no, it should be an interesting game. I'm actually going to go in as we speak, and I think I'll do Atalanta and both teams to score.
What's that, about 3-1?
Yeah, I was gonna say I assume it's about 9-4. If it's around 9-4, 3-1, I'd be happy with that. But
I went for the scoring draw as well, because I don't know about Atalanta winning. With the two of them on form, kind of draw seems like a likely enough result, and it seems they're almost guaranteed both the scores. So 3-1.
What price is the score draw?
3-1.
Well, you have that in your double, don't you? Yeah.
Well, it's in my double, yeah. So I need PSG to do the job there as well.
I don't know if I have selective memory here, but I feel that Saint-Etienne kind of have a little bit of they've had a decent record against PSG, especially in cups. Did they not win the cup last year? I'll check that now. I think they won the Coupe de France last year against PSG.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't actually need PSG to win. I just need goals from them, both halves, and 2 corners in each half. So I don't think Etienne are going to stop them scoring anyway.
No. An interesting footnote for that game is that Saliba, the Arsenal guy, they're not letting him play the game. Not sure if you read anything about that.
No.
Why is that?
So Arsenal bought him last summer and they loaned him back. Saint Etienne wouldn't sell him without a loan back, so they loaned him back. And there was, all those clauses about how many games they play and how many, I think it was kind of like performance insurance. So if they played him too much, Arsenal would have to, if they didn't play him enough, there was money had to be handed over. If they played him too much, money would have to be handed over. But whatever way the contract ended up, they were at the kind of a threshold mark. So if he played the cup final, it was one more game. And that one more game, Arsenal would have had to pay Saint Etienne about €5 million. Actually, that number I just made it up, but it's millions of euro they would have to pay him to play the game. So Arsenal asked them to not charge them. Said if you don't charge us, you can keep him play. And Saint Etienne said no, that's the contract. So Arsenal said no. Like the contract expired in June because of the COVID pushed the cup final too late. So if you want him to play in the cup final, we're not paying you the extra money. They had a big barney about it, and then in the end they couldn't agree terms, so he's sitting in London going to watch it on the TV like the rest of us.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's class, all right.
Such a waste. Like,
it is a waste. Really, the victim in it all is him. You know,
yeah, exactly.
Really, such a way to sign off your career, having it. You've been a pretty strong member of that squad. You know, he got him to the cup final, and there's a lot of teams in France with vastly bigger budgets than them. But sadly, I think with a lot of modern sports, money talks, and that's the way it's gone.
Yeah, it's just real negative kind of, negative politics or whatever you call it, Mark. Like, contracting between the teams that just forces the fella out of the game altogether.
Yeah.
No one coming out.
Yeah, no, especially if the Saint-Etienne defence doesn't hold up well tonight, it would just be kind of salt in the wound for their fans. But,
sorry, lads, I'm a bit distracted here because I'm trying to get a couple of bets on before kick off of the game. So, sorry for being a bit quiet.
It's all right. Speaking of that, you volume-wise, you're a little bit quiet, so just be aware of that.
Your mic is up around your eye.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't want to be breathing down while I was looking at the bets.
As you're picking a bet to put
on.
The Zoom special just.
Nobody wants to hear that, like. But yeah, like I can see. I looked through the games today, and in all of them, I can see there not being goals. Now,
is this
the only thing is, I think collectively, so the PSG game has goals written all over it. The AC Milan game has goals written all over it, and then Serie B is just every week a goal fest. So I suppose every bet you put on, you're kind of confident on. But like this week, I'm just sitting here going, fully expecting. I don't know whether my bet is up on screen or not, but I did a 100-1 bet with Paddy Power, and I'm fully sure that there's going to be a grand resting on my account at the end of this. So
I feel that way every time we place a bet.
Yeah.
That Paddy Power account is the mutual team account, right?
Yes.
The for those of you who were just tuning in this week, we actually came very close to a big winner last week. We had nearly €1,800 win. We were just one goal short in the Deportivo game in the Spanish Segunda division. So we came very close last week. So one goal extra this week could make all the difference.
Yeah. It is good to get a run out of bets anyway, that way, but obviously a lot better if you can win them. So fingers crossed we go one better. I think, and even last week you got unlucky with how it came about, we started off slow, had a mid-range, from just around halftime or just after halftime where all the goals are coming for us. And then there was a massive lull and then goals again. So it didn't even work that we, I don't like cashing out, but it didn't work that we had even the temptation of a cash out value. It was kind of get the goals or bust.
But even some mayhem there for the last 10 minutes, just all these goals coming in, trying to figure out what bets are still alive and how close they are to winning.
Yeah, I hadn't got the heart to look up. Liam, probably you are watching it, so you probably will be able to explain better than us, or better than me. But the Deportivo needed to win, so they sent their keeper up in the last minute, and then the corner got
worse than that because we had. As soon as we flicked over and we realised it was the last game, we needed one goal. They had just scored, so we saw them take the ball out of the back of the net, and then there was like a 90-second kind of confusion. The ref had given it offside. The linesman had given it offside. The ref had given it. Then eventually they disallowed the goal, and then it was just chance after chance after chance. As you mentioned, they brought the keeper up in the 94th minute. They lost the ball from the corner instantly, and there was two. Forgive me now, I forget who they were playing, but there was two opposition players breaking across the halfway line with literally nobody between them and the goal. And the ref just blew the whistle and ended the match. And it was so close to having that second goal. And even the players remonstrating with the ref afterwards because, both of those teams were, goal difference could have been important for them. So
really, they were giving the ref abuse over him going up.
Yeah, they all started throwing their hands at him. It was a guaranteed goal. The two players unmarked, nobody 10 yards behind them and literally nobody between them and the goal.
yeah, when it's coming into goal difference and it's going to actually make a difference. Like a lot of the time, they wouldn't really care that much. They just kick the ball away and run off celebrating.
The only
Maybe
thing
the one
I'll
player
say,
who was going to get the goal might be, having a hissy fit.
The only thing I'll say is
a
that
goal bonus waiting on it.
Yeah, it's big bonus. The only thing is that it was 96. It was actually, I said 94. It was the 96th minute, but they'd given 6 minutes added on, and this was like 96:40. So it was well over. So they all often let you take the corner, but they won't let play progress after the corner.
As soon as it's cleared out of the box, that's it. Then
I'd like to say the ref didn't do his job right and send off a letter of complaint to the Spanish FA or something, but no, it was definitely over.
Get the goal reinstated or something.
Take legal action against the referee for robbing us of our money. So, we came close. And actually, if you remember, when we jumped into that, there was a 400 and something cash out. But because it looked so likely there'd be a goal in that Deportivo game, we hesitated. It was 5 minutes, it was gone, the cash out.
Too much potential regret of cashing out of that too early.
Yeah, but I think in a game like that, we were right to leave it run. And most of it, you're right to leave it run. Sometimes you have... you're waiting on a lot. If you're waiting on 3 or 4 goals and there's a few minutes left, maybe you cash out. But in that instance, like, I think we would have been more gutted to lose the 1,400 that we would have lost, rather than lose the tenner or whatever we staked. So, I think. Good decision not to cash out.
I do think that's something that when you hear people talking about cash outs, they don't often mention. I always think your cash out decision should always be based on your stake, what you can cash out for, and your potential win. If you put on a big stake bet for say you've staked 1,000 to win 1,500, and you can cash out for 1,300, you're taking that because there's a lot of risk there with your original stake. But at the end of the day, I think we only staked €5. It's an enormous win if you get the 1,800, and none of us are going to scoff at a €400 cash out. But in reality, it was we were 1 goal away from 1,800 quid off a €5 stake. It's definitely worth letting that one ride. So I think that's certainly when talking about cash outs, my consideration really is your stake.
Yeah, I agree. For a fiver, like, you're not going to miss a fiver, really. And I as well on what Gary was saying, like the regret of losing out on winning the bet. Like, you've placed the bet because you believe in it. And then, it's on course for coming off. Like, how many goals were needed? Like 16 or 17 or something. You have all of them but one. And then you're just taking less than a quarter of your payoff. Like,
I'm actually looking at Gary's kind of acca here for tonight across the games, and they're all broadly priced in the same, like 4 to 5, 8 to 11, 19 to 20, 11 to 10. And actually, if you remember that Deportivo game was by miles the lowest odds of all the bets we did last week. It was 4 to 11. None of the rest of them were inside, 8 to 11 at the lowest.
It seems to be so often the case with an accumulator that it's just one short. It's just that one that you put in, just to get it over like 100 to 1 or get it over 20 to 1.
I did it. One of the first bets I ever did, and it should have been a lesson to me, but sadly I don't think it was. It was one weekend I took all the League of Ireland and League of Ireland First Division games, and it wasn't all score. It wasn't all results. It was a couple of over 1.5s and over 2.5s and stuff. And I'd gotten them all right, and I put a Finn Harps game in for them to win, and they were 1 to 3. But you've already got 12, 13 other legs. It's nearly guaranteed to have a big impact on the result. So I put them in. They went 2-0 up and ended up drawing 2-2. I was so close to just going up there and shouting at them at the pitch or something. I was unbelievably frustrated. It was the last match of the weekend as well.
I'm going to cut across you there because I did a bet for us, just a small stake bet for us at Ripon, the 755 at Ripon. So there's about 6 furlongs left. We're in second place, 4 to 1 shot. So
who did you go for?
We can get the winner. Contrabass is the name of it. David Allen is riding it. Sorry, I just need to plug in a charger here. But yeah, we look to be going all right now, to be honest. The fave is behind us, so that's always decent. So we're still in second. There's just half a mile left, so 4 furlongs left.
Let's see what's 4 to 1.
4 to 1, yeah. So in contention here anyway. So we're about a half a length down, coming into the final 3 furlongs. I think we could be on to a winner, lads. He needs to stay on a bit, but oh no, he's just been chopped out. He was going all right, but he went for a gap and two horses came together. So that's kind of ended his chances now. I think he's still trying to stay on, but that interference, I think, is going to cost him. Sorry, it's coming up to man. Yeah, it wasn't a bad run out of him, but we didn't win, unfortunately.
It's been a nice start tonight.
I know, yeah, he was coming with a run, and so there was like two horses in front of him, and he went to come through a gap, and kind of they came together and blocked him off. So he lost a couple of lengths and then tried to come again, but they got like first run on him. So
it's so rare that if a horse gets cut off like that they actually manage to get the win, especially if it's near the end of the race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just it was unlucky. Yeah, I'll have a look at the last race at Ripon. Is it A25? There's a pretty hot favourite in it, who will be hard to beat. But I had a look earlier on. There's one called Rich Belief, and he was 22s earlier on. He's 16s now, so I might do a little bit more investigation into that, and pull the trigger just before the off. I'll keep you updated.
Keep us posted.
Yeah. The Serie B is kicking off at 8, is it?
Yeah, just a minute to go now for
the goals start kicking off at 8, right?
Yeah,
I mean, everything we're interested in anyway.
I'm just looking at the quick result there of that race. The favourite got past him in the end, did he, Gary?
He did, yeah.
You mentioned earlier the PSG Saint-Etienne has goals written all over it. So I looked up there head to head, and their last games, going backwards in order, is 7 goals, 4 goals, 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals. There's a lot of goals in these two teams' games.
Yeah, because I had a look at the odds earlier on, and I was thinking over 3.5. I was like, I got some juicy odds over 3.5. And when I looked at it, it was something miserly, like 4 to 6 or something. I was like, okay, the bookies obviously haven't missed this one,
PSG scored 13 in their last 2 games.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like everyone's scoring. I think between Neymar and what's his name?
Mbappe.
Yeah, the two between them, they've only 5 out of those 13, and the rest are all spread across, the rest of their attacking players. So I think they're just playing freely and scoring for fun. Like,
myself and Gary were at the PSG game last season. Was it last season? Yeah, last season. And it was a phenomenal atmosphere. I know they get a lot of stick for being a money club, but in reality, they do treat the fans pretty well. It was an unbelievable experience.
Oh my God, there's a goal in the first minute of Ascoli Portione. How does it happen so much in the Serie B? Like, what other league would you get gold in the first 2-3 minutes all the time?
Not only that, but they're priced up at 6-5 for over 2.5 goals, or 19-10 or 20 or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like the value that we're getting in Serie B compared to the value or lack of value in the PSG game, it's actually amazing.
We saw that last week, and for anyone who's just joined in watching us in the last couple of moments, we're betting on the Serie B goals primarily tonight, and it's a particularly juicy league to back goals in. That and the Spanish second division seem to have much higher prices than you'd expect for goals, considering that it has so many goals. You get even money or close to it or even above it in a lot of games.
So there's 9 games in that division just after kicking off. Is that right?
Yeah.
How many of them are you covering in the overs? All of them.
Yeah, so I have most of the I've done an acca, and I've 1, 2, 3. I've 3 both teams to score, and 4 over 2.5s, and it's 100 to 1. So in one of the over 2.5s was Ascoli Portione, and obviously there's a goal in that. So that's a decent start. So fingers crossed that can continue.
And the game we were talking about previously last week, the Livorno, and they're not having, no bookies will take bets on Livorno games for whatever reason, and it was a goal of Ram as well. By the looks of it, it was 3-1 at one point when I stopped tracking it. So
But as well, I was thinking of the one that let us down for that 1,800 quid last week. I mean, it was a Spanish game. I know there was a couple other Spanish games we had back that did come off, but all of the Italian Serie B ones came off last week.
yeah, every single one. Yeah, that Livorno game earlier on had 6 goals. So just both teams to score, goal in both halves, everything you could have wanted. Except corners, of course. There's only 6
They're the
goals.
games you want.
Yeah.
Need to keep that coming.
What I would do, I mean, I remember last week, like it took, the bet never really looked on. It was a slow start in the first half, and it was only into the second half then that you start going, right, we have half the goals, we have 3/4 of the goals,
Yeah.
Hopefully now it's a lot kind of more comfortable or nearly enjoyable when your first half goes well and you're kind of just sitting on 3 or 4 goals to do the business,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not on the screen, but we've got, over 1.5 in all these Serie B games on the screen pays, I think, 50 quid to cover the rest of the bets, and then over 2.5 pays 1,300 quid if that happens. So yeah, nice.
That game has gone suspended again.
I saw that. I think it's back now without anything happening.
Oh, is it?
It's mad how we all end up at different stages of suspension and not suspension, like with the internet.
I was wondering, should we sync it up and be kind of watching the same thing? But I do enjoy the drama of one person knowing what's going on and the rest kind of waiting to see.
Yeah,
it's different bookies as well, because I'm on Betfair here and it's still suspended.
Yeah, my Betfair is still suspended.
I have Paddy Power up on screen, and they're not suspended, so it's mad.
That's actually
even with those two alone, you would think that Paddy Power and Betfair with the connections there, you think it's all the same information that's feeding their systems, like.
Yeah. Well, I think they have to have some separation, but I'm pretty sure it's the same odds compilers that do it, that make the odds, but and probably the same functionality, but
definitely on the sports book, the odds seem to be identical for most matches, most sports.
But the sad thing is, most bookies now, even if they're merged or not, like, just back even only a few years ago, you could go around, shop around, so to speak, and you would get significant enough difference between prices. But now I feel it's some intern's job at every bookie to just track all the other bookies. If they see a price drop, they'll just cut it.
Probably just some application they have running that just they're just looking at odds checker.
Yeah.
But it all tracks the exchange, well,
that's it.
That's the thing.
Is that the same with horse racing these days, Gary? Do you find that the odds?
Yeah, horse racing was kind of the foundation of it, that way. So, when Betfair first came out, there were still differences. But as Betfair has evolved and become it's kind of technology as well. So, back 20 years ago, the bookies needed to take a few big bets in order to make money, that way, and make their book. They wanted someone coming in sticking $5,000 on a favourite, and then they'd have everything against the favourite, and that's how they make the money. But with the volume of people betting now, and the volume of markets that's out there, they don't need the good punters anymore. So they know all those good punters have to go to the exchange. So if you're tracking the exchange, you're kind of tracking the best punters, if you know what I mean.
An eventual goal there, sorry to cut across the Gary.
Oh yeah, I just saw that flashing up there, yeah. So that's good. I think I have those.
I think Benevento have scored an unbelievable amount of goals this season. 70 in their 40 games or something like that.
Yeah, I have both teams to score in that game in a bet. So that's good. Their away team scoring as well. So
for the both teams to score, bet is exactly what you want. An early away goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big time. But But if Benevento are scoring freely, I presume they're conceding heavily too. Like, I mean,
No, they're top. They've played 36 games. They've scored 60 and conceded 22.
Oh, really?
I mean, you're averaging there about 2.5 to half a goal a game. So
they're going to be in Serie A next season, are they?
Yeah, back up.
When did they go down?
Last season.
Oh, they were? Okay, I didn't realize that they were there.
They only went up the season before. So
Right.
it was mad. There's a couple of towns in Italy where you can nearly fit the whole town's population into the football team stadium.
And is that what it's like? Does the whole town go along?
Yeah. Well, I say I've never been to a Benevento game, but I'd love to go. There's only 60,000 people in the town.
It's on our to-do list is to head to. Well, we were in Italy this year in February for AC Milan versus Inter Milan. But we're going to organise a trip to Italy when things get back to normal. We'll take in a Serie A game one night and then a Serie B game next night. Or probably vice versa. It'll probably be Friday night Serie B and then a Saturday or Sunday Serie A game. So look forward to that when things get back to normal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a good old atmosphere down at those kind of smaller localized teams, you know.
I was at a Serie D game before at Siena, and it was one of the most fun I've ever had at a football match. Like it was almost like being at, all the fans knew the players personally, and it was just kind of there's nobody paying attention. There's like the concept of assigned seating was laughable. People just sitting around drinking their beers, having people brought snacks with them, so they were eating their lunch, and the football was going on. It was about 100 degrees outside. I had to leave early. I couldn't stand the heat. It was like being in a Coliseum in Siena. But those lower league matches are, they're really enjoyable, kind of authentic experience,
Yeah, I can imagine. Nice to get down there.
Yeah. Yeah, Benevento and Crotone are as good as guaranteed to go back up. Benevento are, Crotone are as good as.
Do they go into some playoff then, finishing second, is it?
No, so the rest of them, so Pordone, Spezia, Frosinone, Cittadella, Pisa and somebody else will all go into a playoff.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And then they'll play up to a certain point, and then somebody in the division above will play, the team coming down will play the team going up. So I think one of them definitely goes up, and then the other one definitely comes down, and then there's a final playoff game.
What do you make of that in comparison to the Premiership, where the bottom three are just guaranteed relegation? I kind of like where they have a chance to say we're still better than this team that's trying to come in,
I don't know if I think it's very hard to say. I mean, certainly in England you couldn't do it because the Championship is so many games that
they'd be more burnt out. Kind of.
Yeah, they'd be
like
burnt out, and a team in
game.
the Premier League. If you know you're going to say if it's the 18th team would have that. So say 19 and 20 go down, but 18 plays the team coming up. If you start to put your eye on that match early on, you might be able to, have a bit of an advantage where the teams in the Championship have to slog it out over. It's one of the toughest leagues in football.
Does that tend to happen, or would you notice? Would you imagine that's going on in Serie B or the bottom of Serie A?
I don't know. This has been a strange season in Serie A. There was, a couple of the teams at the St. Livorno, that's the Serie B. Some of the guys are absolutely going to go down, and there's been a few teams kind of flirting with that relegation. So I don't know if it's been like you wouldn't know if you were going to stay up or go down. You're looking at the points.
Right. So they're still focusing under survival within the league and that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you look at it there, you've got Lecce, Genoa, Torino, Udinese, and Sampdoria. Like Sampdoria on 41 points, 39, 38, 36. It's very, very tight there. In the last few weeks, kind of Lecce have trailed off a little bit. They're probably going to go down now as well, but it did seem certain that you'd have. It didn't seem certain. You couldn't kind of pick this team was going to go down, So, yeah. I'm actually looking at the table here, and maybe that playoff might actually be gone now this season. There's no mention of a playoff.
Maybe it is something they could scrap, like if you're trying to kind of reduce.
I know unfair on Citadel have just scored there, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. Yeah, 1-0.
It's kind of unfair on like when there's a difference between the leagues, if you know what I mean. So, like, if you think about it, the Premiership and the Championship, there's such a big difference in finance and things like that between the leagues. that I think that when you have those interleague playoffs, they're kind of weighted towards the bigger side, that way. But in lower leagues, I think they can make sense, and they give a lot.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like, if you come in the relegation zone of the Premier League or the Serie A, what the league is kind of saying is you're not good enough to be in this league, so you go down. Not that you're slightly better than a team who fought tooth and nail to just get their head above the parapet and try.
I kind of like that. Yeah, the rotation of teams into the league. Bring in a fresh team rather than just letting someone who was pretty crap but managed to beat, the fourth or third best team in the league below them to survive. Like, I do prefer the kind of rotation, but at the same time, I just like the drama of this extra match where they have to, it's all or nothing kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, the championship playoff games are some of the most entertaining matches you're going to see.
That's it, like they really are, yeah.
I was in Genoa when Sampdoria won their promotion from the Serie B to the Serie A. The last time they came up, probably, whatever that would have been, 7 or 8 years ago, maybe less. I've never seen a party like it. The whole town went bananas, and even the Genoa fans were delighted because they have their rival back up, to have somebody to kind of be a rival of,
Yeah.
There was people like, shirtless men running up and down the streets, draped in flags, and people honking the horns all night.
Trapani scored there as well now.
Nice one.
Not bad. Four goals in 4 matches, inside 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. PSG are up and running as well.
Compare that to the Premiership, like, you've your 3 o'clock, about 5 or 6 3 o'clock kickoffs, and it might be 1-0 in one of them by half time. Like,
I don't know, is there a league that's more of a second half league than the Premier League?
I did wonder, yeah. It's got to be, I'd say conservatively, it's 2 goals in the second half for every one in the first half.
Yeah, I'd agree. I wonder, is it an issue of fitness? They probably, any of the top flight leagues, but I'd surely say the Premier League is the fittest of the leagues. That, you don't, a lot of goals in any standard of football come from mistakes, and because you've got these unbelievably fit guys that they're so rigid and so well kind of positioned in that first 30, 40 minutes.
It nearly takes a mistake to let someone in, so it's going to be later in the game, kind of a lapse in concentration.
Yeah, I did it one season. Just obviously you watch a lot of the matches, but match of the day, I tracked every single goal for a whole season like an absolute dork and timed how long the team who scored were in possession. I think something like, over half the goals they were in possession for less than 5 to 10 seconds. It was just the other team lost possession, the other guy pounced on it, tapped it to someone, and they scored. It was, these goals you see 15 passes and everybody loves them. They're actually quite rare. So, not making mistakes is the key, and I think maybe fitness is part of that.
I've put that bet on a ripping, by the way, so in another 10 minutes we'll have a go.
Let us know when that's...
He's like 28 to 1 or something like that. So
did you not say he came into teams?
He did, and then he drifted back out. But I had a look at his form, and I don't think he should be a 28 to 1 shot. So we're on each way. I'd take second if you gave it to me now, because I said the favourite's fairly short. But I couldn't really pass up. Like, I think it was a 25 or 28. Sorry, I've closed out of it now, so I'll go and have a look. It is. So we're on 25s. 25s.
Nice.
Empoli has gone suspended. Albany Salernitana. Need to get practice in my Italian lessons for.
Have them all written like phonetically on a sheet of paper in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, the first thing we have to do is get our French sorted for Longchamp in the autumn.
Oh, well, that's well in progress now. So I can't wait for that now. It's going to be good. Thinking like we might take in a Marseille game as well, if things align correctly. So fingers crossed for that.
You're heading down there, are you?
Yeah, so we're going down to the south of France and then traveling up to Paris and going to the Arc de Triomphe horse racing and Longchamp. So looking forward to that. So it's the end of September, start of October.
Class.
Yeah, we were at 2 years ago at Longchamp. It's a pretty spectacular course they have there now. So hopefully the crowds are slightly less this year. That was the only shortcoming that time.
Yeah, it was a bad setup because they'd just done up the course, and obviously normally like French people wouldn't, they'd go and they'd have like 2 drinks or whatever, and it's just all more cultured than UK or Ireland. So they ended up having 80,000 people there. Like 60,000 of them were kind of like UK or Irish, wanting pints galore and bets galore, and they just
set up to serve out the pints at that rate.
But even food, like the track ran out of food. So by
they ran out of pints
in the afternoon, you couldn't get food.
Sure.
Till 4 o'clock, you couldn't get pints. Like you were struggling to get bets on. There was like a 10-minute wait for you to like, because like they had people going around with these kind of like laptops with printers on them, so they'd like do your bet for you. And it's like you were queuing up to a person that was moving. It was strange, but they got loads of attention. I wasn't there last year, but it was supposedly movement, so I'd say it's gonna be fine this year.
You could so clearly, it was like a marketing person's dream to see that. It was like Kronenberg and Heineken were the 2 normal pints. They sold out of them in about 2 hours, and then there was like some sort of darker IPA drink that lasted another couple of hours, and then there was these like heavy ales that were going on sale. They were the last thing to sell out. People were just reluctantly drinking them by the end, but you could just see everybody drinking the same drinks throughout the day. It was funny.
Yeah, it wasn't funny when they ran out of food though. Like that was
No.
like everybody was just starving, because you go early there to like be queues getting in and stuff. So
yeah, full day out, like.
Yeah.
But even it was like, not to be it was a spectacular place, but they just weren't prepared for the crowds.
Surely they don't make mistakes twice.
They actually emailed everybody afterwards and apologized. Anyone who bought the tickets online, and the email to say we accept that we weren't prepared. So
but for them, like the difference between them being left over with an excess of food and drink compared to running out, like.
I think you see it everywhere though. Anytime there's like, the Euros are on, or there's a Champions League match, like any place or town that's not used to having tens of thousands of like English, Irish, Scottish or Welsh people turning up, they just can't, they're not able to sell beer fast enough for.
Oh, you remember that square in Poznan
coming in from these islands?
Gary, at the Euros over in Poznan in Poland, and like it was more like little cafes on this big square, kind of like maybe a marketplace kind of area, but all along the outside of it were these little cafes that served beer and that.
They didn't know what was happening to them.
Swarmed with Irish people, but it was that kind of thing where they'd ask you what you want, and you'd say 2 pints of this, a pint of that, a pint of that, and they'd go and get the 2 pints of the first thing and come back and be like, what was the next thing you wanted? And then there's like 15 people behind you in the queue that are all like waiting to get in. The barmen were just like sweat, nearly tears coming out of them. Like they were just.
You compare that to here.
But in there, it started off with like draft beer, and after about probably an hour and a half, they'd run out of their draft beer, because obviously they were only kept like a keg or two in these little cafes, and there was so many around drinking that they ran out of them. So your man had to go in a big like transit van down to wherever, like the local cash and carry or whatever, and come back with just like a truckload of cans. So then we were drinking cans for the rest of it, but like they couldn't believe what was going on. Portione have scored to go 2-0 up, so the over 2.5 there is looking fairly good.
Yeah. Do you know, actually, because when I was living in Poland, it was so clear the change in culture, even over that 1 year, between people not really drinking beer. Like, young fellas wouldn't have drank beer the way we drink beer. But then by the second summer, you'd see an awful lot more of these craft brewery pubs and stuff like that. So I suppose they're probably used to just serving a bottle of vodka to a table and letting them run riot for a few hours. Not people like us going up every 15 minutes.
Yeah. like when you think about it, some of it is just debauchery, like the amount that we drink and we drank at those things. But when you're at the Euros, like for Ireland as well, it's kind of, you can't bank on it being every 4 years, or like, you know, being at a big tournament every so often. So
Yeah.
make the most of it when you can, you know.
We have a viewer there saying hello, lads. I don't know.
What's that?
Edie or Dede. I hope you're having a good Friday evening anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, things are a bit frozen on my side at the minute, so I can't see the comment stream, but hopefully everybody that's watching is having a good time. And I said our bets should be on screen there. If you have any questions about the bets, let us know. It's mainly goals orientated in Serie B, and it's got off to a reasonable start. There's a few 0-0 draws that would worry me, but there's been goals in a good few of the games, so that gives us hope. The main bet is 100 to 1 shot, so we would be happy for that to come off. And then in 2 minutes' time, we have a 25 to 1 shot running at Ripon. So it's Rich Belief, ridden by PJ McDonald. As you know, it's 25 to 1 shot, so it's an outsider, but I think it could get into contention. And as I said, when I was putting the bet on, I'd be happy with.
Put down that mic, guy, will you?
Sorry. Okay. Keep moving it to take my Bud Light.
We seem to have stumbled our way into another Zoom malfunction. It seemed someone mentioned that it froze, and that was correct, and then it's just not unfreezing. Now it's gone entirely.
Yeah, that's not good. The horse race is about to start anyway. They're loading into the stalls, so we can keep you updated with it. It'll be a minute or two delayed, it looks like, because of horse not wanting to go into the stall. But we're in the red and white colours, Rich Belief. So there's still a couple more to load.
There's goals in 5 of the games now in Serie B. Is it the Empoli game? Salernitana scored against Empoli.
Yeah,
that's. I don't remember seeing that earlier. So that's.
No, it went suspended, and but I didn't see who scored. So yeah, that's good. But
5 out of the 9 games have goals anyway.
You could do a few goals in the others. You want to have a goal or so in each game, kind of, if you can, going into half time, you know, especially with the volume of goals that my bet needs.
Yeah, but we're definitely ahead of where we were last week anyway. That's crucial.
Exactly, yeah. I did corners in PSG as well. I must check and see how that's getting on.
Welcome back. If anyone is there watching us, you might have realised that we've had a technical issue or two, but our video conferencing app had a crash, so we've rebooted it. We're on a new stream here, so please bear with us and apologies for the poor showing. Anyone is there watching us, you might have realised. So we'll just give it a moment for my esteemed colleagues to come back. You'll see the Empoli have conceded, so that's 2 goals, and that's both teams that scored. We'll run through these. So just for anyone who is just after joining us, we've got over 1.5 and over 2.5 in each of these goals here. So the first pays a 50 quid to just kind of cover the night's expenses, and the second one pays 1,300 or so. So that would be an exciting Friday night. And we have a third Serie B match that pays about £2,000. All of those are £2 stakes, by the way. So we don't overdo the stake descriptions in our streams, just so that we don't encourage people to gamble more than what they are willing to or comfortable to do. It's keep it easy. So bear with us one more moment and we'll be back before you know it. Thanks. Welcome back.
Yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare there.
Yeah. And oddly enough, it's not picking up. There we go. We're back. We're fully back live.
Oh, God. The joys of technology, huh?
Yeah.
Why we were right, it was a frenzy of goals anyway.
Yeah. So, just if we do manage to bring anyone back after our technical difficulties, we do apologise for that. But hopefully you were watching the Serie B on your main screen and saw those goals flying in. It's quite up to a few minutes. So, not sure. I know you said you could hear me, Slats, when you were when you were trying to get back in. So we had Empoli conceded, so that's equalised. So both teams to score is in there, and Frosinone equalised against Benevento, so both teams to score is in there as well. What do we have in that one actually, Gary? Frosinone, we have. We've left that one out, unfortunately. So, oh well.
You have to go over 1.5, you got to be, don't you?
Yeah, so I have in all the Serie B games, we got over 1.5 and over 2.5. So the first one pays 50 and the second one pays 1,300. And then separate to that, then we've got Gary's kind of pick and mix accumulator. So we've got combination of both teams to score and over 2.5. But that one doesn't have the Benevento game. Not to worry, there's still plenty of goals elsewhere.
Yeah.
As a game, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount going on.
No. Have you looked at the stats in that one?
Up there.
There's been one shot on target, one shot off target.
We did have that last week though, and there was the halftime pep talk seemed to have a big impact on them.
Yeah, that's it. And once one team scores, the other kind of has to go for it then too. So
yeah,
I'm just waiting for that first goal. The only other one, I mean, there's goals in 7 of the 9 games already. Like still plenty time in the half. The Stabia at Nice, there's a bit more action going on there, like a few shots from both teams, a couple on targets. So hopefully they'll open up before half time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if you were still on it, but PSG went up 1-0. Did you see that?
Oh no, I missed that. I was desperately trying to turn off and turn on all my systems and get us going again.
There's been two corners and a card as well, so
nice.
There a bit, yeah.
The AC Milan match should be in flight now. It's 20:45, is it? Crap.
Yeah. I'm tempted to do a. Is there 2 bookings in the PSG game? Yeah.
No, 2 corners.
Oh, 2 corners. Okay.
But PSG are just taking their first corner now, so that's the second corner of the game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go in and do a kind of a same game multi in the Atalanta game. Keeping interest. Any suggestions of what you put in there?
What is it you're doing, Gary?
I'm going to do a same game multi, so might go like over 3.5 goals is evens. It's not a great price, but probably will come in.
Guys, never mind.
You see, my bet is like 4 more goals, 6 or more cards, and 9 or more corners. 17-2 for that, I thought was pretty decent. Like, and it's a good entry as well.
Let me check Atalanta here, Gary, to see some of the scorer markets. Is that the game you're looking at, yeah?
The Atlanta game, yeah.
Score. I mean, Zapata to score at 10-11 looks pretty decent, and I'm going to say that Ilicic isn't playing based on the fact that he's not in the odds. He's usually a good shouter. Check the lineups here.
My bet on PSG is for them to score a goal and 2 or more corners in each half, and they've already have a goal and 2 corners now in this half. So that's looking good.
I mean, it depends what kind of juice you're looking for, but Gomez at 2-1 to score seems particularly generous. As much as Zapata is a phenomenal talent, he's the kind of centre forward, kind of in that Giroud mould, that he creates a lot of space for everybody around him. I think Atalanta have one of the highest scoring midfields in the Serie A and probably in Europe, because you basically need 2 men to mark Zapata at most opportunities. So Alejandro Gomez at 2-1 to score any time seems, I mean, Zapata 10-11 is not too bad, but 2-1 for any time's goal scorer for a team that scores as much as Atalanta seems particularly generous.
I was looking at Rebic for AC Milan.
He's even more, 21-10. Yeah, both of those seem decent.
So I'm going to do both of them.
Wow.
The both guys score and over 10.5 corners is 20-1. So
it's going to keep it simple like that.
Yeah, might as well. It's only for an interest in the game, like, you know.
Yeah. What I've done a few times lately, and I'm not recommending it because it hasn't been enormously successful, but both teams to score in the second half, because you usually get at least 7-5 on that, and that would be in a game like this with high scoring teams. You could even get like close to 2-1 for both teams to score in the second half, and it's surprisingly common considering the odds. So it's always that even if.
Do you reckon the odds on that are better before the game or better at halftime? Back it. I mean,
It's probably something actually I don't know. It's probably worth checking. I mean, certainly in the Premier League, you would imagine that it's going to be better at halftime.
Because it's probably like 0-0 at halftime. So
yeah, but in theory there should be no difference.
That's true, I know, but that's why if there is a difference, you should back it at the point where it's higher, because realistically, it's not any more or less likely.
Benevento have gone 2-1 up, by the way, so that's 2.5.
3-1 there. 3-1.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but we don't need any more from them now, so they can stop scoring.
Yeah, they can lend a few of their goals to like US Cremonese.
It's 2-1 to Empoli as well.
Oh yeah. I did a different bet for us. I was going to surprise you with it later on if it was still looking good. It's incredibly long odds, about 900-1. But unfortunately, Pisa we need them to win and they're losing 1-0. That's kind of the stickler in that one. But the goals part of it is looking good because I have over 2.5 in the Benevento game, and that's up. Both teams have scored, and Pordenone and one of them have scored. What else goals do we have there? The Venezia game is holding us back a little bit, but for a 900-1, it's not looking too bad.
Mbappe is injured here in the PSG game, and it's been suspended.
I was wondering why it was suspended.
Yeah, I'd say it's suspended because they're probably thinking, is he going to be taken off? Like,
yeah, that would make a big difference. Like, yeah, we could really do it just before halftime with a goal, like anybody to score in either the Venezia game or the Spezia game. Venezia's gone suspended. Fingers crossed it's a goal. We can have all the games having a goal before halftime.
Yeah, that'd be a phenomenal start.
Place, like,
Citadel has gone suspended as well.
Yeah. So I'm just going to plug in a headset just because I don't know whether my sound is right or not.
Chievo have equalised against Citadella. So that's a good start to that, or that's a good step in that one. So over the 1.5 is in there.
Sorry, Elby, what game was that?
The Chievo against Citadella.
Citadella. What do you need in that? Just over 2.5?
Over 1.5 and over 2.5. In the long odds one.
Okay.
It's a Citadella win, which obviously it's been slightly hampered there, but it's not the end of the world. And the Venezia Stabia game is back from suspension with no update.
Ooh.
Yeah, not much going on there. Hopefully one of those two games gives us a goal before halftime anyway. I'd be pretty happy if there's goals in 8 of the 9 games going to halftime.
Yeah. I want to be greedy and get goals in everyone, but
I know.
Doesn't sound like you to be greedy, Gary.
PSG, it says the video referee reviewing red card.
What was it, a bad tackle on Neymar? They injured him?
Yeah, it's just going off what Slide was telling me. So you would expect it to be a Saint-Etienne red card if that's what's going to happen.
Sorry, I think I can watch this on Paddy Power. Yeah, hold on. Let's just come back here. The ref is doing the VAR sign. Looks like he's going to send someone off anyway. He's reaching for his pocket. You get a job in a film. He's putting that much acting into it. And the Saint-Etienne players are going absolutely mental. So it looks like it is going to be a Saint-Etienne player.
Empoli have just gone 3-1 up.
Mbappe looks to be kind of crying. And the captain for Saint-Etienne looks like he's about to be sent off. Yeah. The captain for Saint-Etienne has been sent off.
Yeah, I can see the red card now.
It looks like it's going to be a pen as well.
come off suspended. PSG are 1-40, so that 365 often actually still will give you odds while the penalty is happening. You'll kind of be halfway between if they're 1-0 up and if they're 2-0 up, and then it'll change again depending on the result. There's another yellow card.
Like, it wasn't that bad of a tackle in terms of, I don't think he meant it, but I think things, knee ligament or ankle ligaments are gone. Mbappe's, like his ankle rolled. The guy, he touched the ball, but then kind of came over the top and just all his body weight landed on Mbappe's ankle.
I've just seen that there. Yeah, I don't think it was intentional at all, but it's just horrible.
In terms, Gary, of cards, what do you need in that game?
I only need corners.
Oh, sorry, I thought you needed cards as well.
No.
The ref is after giving 2 yellow cards to PSG and 2 yellow cards. No, sorry, 3 yellow cards to PSG and 2 yellow cards to Saint-Etienne. There's no 6 yellows and red in that game.
Damn it, why didn't they do the cards?
You'd be laughing if you were on cards there. Surely that had already come in, like 6 yellows, half an hour in.
Yeah, like the camera work here is unreal. Like there's obviously something happening on the pitch, and they're just following this guy into the dressing room that's been sent off. Like, it's like forgetting about the penalty or whatever it might be. Like,
the over 1.5 in every Serie B game is looking unbelievable. 5 of them are in. 2 of them have a goal, and 2 of them have no goals. It's not bad for half time.
No,
Very good.
Are all matches gone to half time? Yeah.
They're about to. They haven't quite yet. They're all
injury time. First half injury time. Now about a minute in.
Come on, give us a few goals. The good thing for Mbappe is he's walking, like, now limping but walking.
Kievo just went 2-1 up. So that's 2.5 in there. So 4 of our 2.5s are in as well.
Nice one. It's the 0-0s. It's only a free kick to PSG, and it's about 35 yards out, so it's gone wide. Now, obviously, Saint-Etienne have a uphill battle being 1-0 down.
Venezia just went up 1-0.
Venezia did. It's gone suspended.
It's 1-0.
But they've gone 2-7. Sweet.
Come on, the Venetians.
That Juve Stabia concede an obscene amount of goals. I forgot what I looked it up. Let me look it up here. Yeah, they've 36 games. They conceded 57 goals. It's pretty tough going.
Yeah, because I need over 2.5 and that, like, so.
8 of the 9 games have closed, so happy days there, like.
Yeah. AC Milan's just kicking off as well.
What a beautiful first half, like. Aside from the injury, of course.
I need an early goal for US Cremonese in the start of the second half, and my bet's live because there's 2 legs in.
You can see this Milan game is just after flipping off there now. What did you end up backing in that, Gary?
I did. It's a long shot. It's 20-1. So Rebic for Milan anytime, Gomez for Atalanta anytime, and over 10.5 corners. So,
but we kind of target players like Zapata and Ibrahimovic. Corners are, they're going to swing them in. There's a good chance that those are the sort of players. I know we're never sure what the cause of corners is, or what the cause of corners are, but having big target men surely helps because it increases the likelihood of crosses and corners being taken properly as opposed to short.
Yeah, you'd think that. I've actually got the Spezia game up here now. So Spezia are on the attack here. Fingers crossed they can get a goal. It's like the 48th minute. So
yeah, it's actually the only game in Serie B that's still going.
Yeah.
If
they've been woeful there, wasting the attack. So, there's only about 10 seconds left because it's was only supposed to be 3 minutes added on, so it's going to be 0-0 at half time.
Gabby wrote us there on YouTube.
Say that again. Oh, Gabsy, you're back. How are you getting on, Gabsy? Hopefully you've joined in some of our Serie B action, the Goal-A-Rama lower league Italian football.
I'm just at half time with goals in 8 of the 9 matches so far.
Sorry, watching the Milan game here, and there was a good attack for Atalanta there, but kind of a 25-yard strike looked like it was going in the top corner and just went wide.
Yeah. I think what that game needs is Atalanta to score early. They're not the sort of team to step back, so it'll kind of force the game to open up.
Yeah, I was more thinking that a goal for AC Milan might open things up. Like, it'll force Atalanta to attack, but
maybe my just feeling is on it that it's not in that Atalanta DNA to sit back. It's not a far fetch for AC to do it. So if Milan score, they're fairly safe anyway to get their Europa League spot. But if they score this, they're definitely safe. They might be inclined to defend that lead. Atalanta are they're not going to win the league. They're not going to finish outside the Champions League places. They're just going to keep going anyway. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
Pressure's kind of off them then too. That can always boost the team as well.
Yeah.
It started open enough anyway. Like, both teams have had a few attacks. Here's Rebic now at the ball who could do with him. The rest of the blown up for free.
PSG game is suspended here again on Bet365. It's been suspended for about 30 seconds or so. PSG have a free kick, but looks around halfway line, so I'm not sure what's going on. There's 7 yellow cards now on it. So, yeah, make that 8 yellow cards. Could easily be another 8 yellow cards and a red card, like inside 40 minutes.
What a half. Well, it was the same, the PSG match that me and Gary went to against Lyon was the same thing. It was just cards all over the place. And then a relatively early red card as well, if I remember right, Gary.
Yeah, Nabil Fekir got sent off.
But that was quite early.
Yeah, it kind of ruined the game a bit, but it was still a great game.
I still got to see possibly the best goal celebration that I ever saw when the Pa one.
Oh, yeah, you fell in love with that. Did you ever find that back when you? I remember you were looking for it on YouTube. But
no, couldn't find it.
It was good.
But we had mentioned earlier for you, Dave, and for our viewers that the kind of the connection between the PSG players and the fans was pretty impressive. And you wouldn't think it with the modern money clubs, but they were really kind of close,
Yeah, really, especially like Thiago Silva and stuff. Like, they all went over into and it was like this. So they're playing Lyon, which Lyon were a good team, but it wasn't like it was kind of end of season and it was like for the league or anything like that. This was in October, so it shouldn't have been as big a game for them as it was. But the players all went over to the fans afterwards, and they stayed for about 15 minutes, like just dancing around and singing.
I wonder, does that kind of come from within the group of players, or is that kind of from management or ownership down? Like they want.
I think some of the clubs, like you certainly see it with the Italian clubs, and it looks like with PSG, the fans kind of demand it, and they won't let you away with stuff. Like I remember we looking at some of the, you look at, I forget which one of the teams it was now for my sins in Serie, and the players, the ultras were complaining about their treatment. So the fans climbed over the barriers and went to the manager during the match and told the manager to tell the owners of the club to let the ultras be able to go back to the way they were. It's they view it as this is our club and your
they're
kind
right,
of,
like
yeah.
I mean, it kind of is in a way. Like I can see their point too.
We see it all with the lockdown. As much as it's great for Liverpool fans to win the league or for whatever fans to get whatever they're getting, it's not no sport is the same really. Even today on Twitter, the Major League Baseball opening day, and everybody's just saying the same thing. Baseball without fans is not baseball. It's just whatever your sport is, the fans make it.
But there's always live streaming
Exactly, yeah. If you can't make it to the match, watch along with us.
Exactly. Gomez was a bit of a glory hunter there. Now he could have got into a good position, could have passed the ball, and went for a long range shot instead. Kind of messed it up. So I've got 2 games on here now. So PSG and the Milan Atalanta game. So.
You must be ahead of me on the PSG. I've just seen the corner. I feel that would have been a few seconds ago for you.
What are you watching? What are you watching on?
The stream or what we're broadcasting, the live score.
Okay, mine is 41 minutes and 42 seconds is what I have.
Yeah, Bet365 is just turning to 42 minutes now. So
yeah, I'm 42 actually. So all right.
I'm streaming on Paddy Power. So cheers, Paddy. The Milan game has started like lively enough anyway. It's just been a foul there, but there's definitely goals in that game. It's just how quickly they come, you know. And I know I said earlier on that I wouldn't have been confident of taking even money around Atalanta away from home, but the way they've started, they look like the better side by far. So I can't really see. Milan probably will 5-0 after this, but I can't really see Milan winning it from the 6 or 7 minutes I've seen.
Yeah.
And like Saint-Etienne aren't doing too bad either. Like, you know, considering they're a goal down and a man down, they've done all right against PSG. Like,
I think the Atalanta PSG games we're going to get in the Champions League are just going to be. They're probably just the way things work out. They'll probably be boring 0-0s, but they could be 5-4 games. Like the attacking displays are going to be phenomenal. Can't wait for them.
Yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of goals in those games, and I think that run of European action is just going to be a couple of weeks of pure joy, you know. So really looking forward to that.
Guys, I'm going to step away for a moment there while we're still half time in the Serie B, so I'll be back in a moment.
Right on.
No problem.
Barry, how did that 25-1 horse go? I think we were off air when it was running.
Yeah,
looking good for Wildford place.
I haven't had a chance to check it. I probably didn't get the place now because it like the best it was going to get was third, but I didn't have a chance to look at it because we had a total system meltdown. So, and actually my betting account hasn't updated with any money, so it mustn't have got third. It's the worst thing about, like, I love horse racing, I love backing horses, but the worst thing is when you back a horse and you can't watch the race, you're just like, I got no enjoyment out of that. So,
even if you can watch the odds on where, like, looking into the matrix, just the numbers moving up and down, and you know what's going on from
that's it.
I do get a good buzz out of that.
Yeah, back in the day before they kind of brought in streaming, that's the way I used to have to watch it. Like when you were in work during the day and you'd have a couple of horses backed.
That's it, especially
you're looking at hoping it goes 1 to 100, like.
Yeah, you're going down to kind of 2 to 1, even money, 1 to 2, and then you're just like, right, this is happening, and then it's like 8 to 1, 16 to 1, 50 to 1, 1,000 to 1.
Exactly. Yeah.
But are you actually watching the PSG game? You were saying that Saint-Etienne are actually putting it up to. I mean, based on the stats, like, they've actually nearly been doing better with 10 men than they were with 11.
Yeah, like, they haven't had many attacks that I've seen, but they've kept the possession well enough. They kind of just have, like, 9 men behind the ball now,
right?
And when they get it, they're keeping it for a while.
Yeah, they've had a couple of shots on target now, and that based on the Bet365 stats, like, so.
They're not doing bad now. In fairness, here's PSG in attack. Oh, that could be a handball.
7 minutes injury time in the first half, thanks to that whole red card and Mbappe injury.
Yeah, and there's a dangerous free kick here. Those cross coming in from the right hand side and a blatant handball. they'll do well to. Like if they can get in a half time, just 1-0 down, they'll be doing.
Well, yeah, they'll be happy enough. Yeah, you'd like to see them get a goal back and just kind of make it a bit entertaining too, you know.
Yeah, speaking of dangerous free kicks, Milan have just won a dangerous free kick as well. So Rebic was running down the left. He nutmegged the right back and then got taken down. So probably about 5 yards outside the left-hand edge of the 18-yard box. There's going to be a free there.
You have a few games on the go at the same time there, do you?
Yeah, I've one on the screen and one on the iPad, so watching both of them. From our corners, the PSG free kick, like the keeper should have been able to throw his cap on it and kind of fumbled it out for a corner, so that's good if you can keep doing that.
How many corners do you need there?
I need 11. I'm not too sure how many there's been, but
4 based on the stats I'm looking at anyway.
Okay, hopefully
that one isn't awful, like, you know, for 11.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal! AC Milan have gone 1-0 up from that free kick. So, I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Kalahaguru. Jeez, I don't know. Liam is our Italian expert and pronunciation expert, but basically, ball was about. So, you know, the box is obviously a rectangle shape. It's like 5 yards on the left-hand side of the box, and he's curled it into the top corner. So the
direct free kick, is it?
Back post, yeah. So it looked like he was going to cross it in, and he's just whipped it, and it's gone in the top corner, the back post. Keeper, like how the keeper can let that in, it's actually a joke of goalkeeping. But it's a really, really good strike. It just brushes the keeper's fingertips on the way in. But I mean, if that's your goalkeeper, you're very, very disappointed. I said you can't take away from the strike though.
That could open things up there now. Hopefully, like Atalanta will have to come back at them.
That was it. Like, you know, it was a good bit of skill by Rebic to win the free kick. I said he nutmegged the defender, and the defender knew he was beaten, just took him down. But it looked like, you know, in those positions, because you're kind of at the edge of the box, normally it would just be a dink into the box and you're looking for like one of your centre halves or the striker to get the head on it. But he kind of fooled everybody by just like getting a lot of whip onto him, a lot of pace into the top corner. So Milan are on the attack again here now, Ibrahimovic. And it's just gone out for a throw in. So yeah, Milan are actually turning the pressure on now.
Counted 19 goals in those 9 Serie B games the first half. They're just starting to kick off now. The Kiev one has just started the second half. But like, you know, it's just what we were saying before kickoff. Like, there's some goal around that's going on down there.
Yeah, exactly.
19 goals across 9 halves. Like,
yeah, the PSG game is going to be going to halftime, so I'm actually going to go off that game and stick on a live score or something like that, so I can see the goals coming in. Or hopefully see the goals coming in.
What are you sticking on?
I just have I actually can watch some of those games actually, so I might actually watch the game that's 0-0. I might watch because that's the one I need.
The one we need, yeah, big thing.
Yeah, like, yeah. Normally you wouldn't be choosing to watch the boring game, but needs must at this stage.
Looking at Milan, Atalanta for betting purposes now, could do with a few corners and cards racking up there as well. I only need 9 corners in that one, which isn't a massive ask. I mean, your average game of football, you know, you would have 10 plus corners.
Yeah,
and exactly. I only need 4 cards. Oh no, sorry, 6 cards and 4 goals. So the goal side of it is, you know, off to a good start anyway. 1-0 early enough in a Serie A game like that. You should expect a few more goals to come after.
Yeah, but it's mad. Like in a Premiership game, if you said like, 6 cards, he'd be no chance. I'll give you like 100 to 1 on it.
It's mad, isn't it?
In the Italian games, like, you know, there could be a fucking card every 5 minutes. You know?
I've noticed it in some South American football as well. Some late night gambling, and it's like red card in every second game down there, yellow cards all over.
In the MLS, like?
No, in South America, down.
Oh, South American, okay.
Brazil, Sao Paulo, and that. Like.
Yeah, she just get the feisty Latin Americans. Like, there's a corner for you now in Milan game.
Oh, there's a corner there in Milan, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so all but 2 of the Serie B games have kicked off again.
Yeah, I'm watching Cremonese and Spezia here. So it's like 20 seconds into the second half. I probably will be a little bit behind.
Danny hasn't kicked off yet. It's at 1-0, and Benicia Jugoslavia is at 1-0 as well. It's just started. So those are 2 more that should be hoping for a couple of goals in the early.
Milan are actually, like, since that goal has gone in, they're dominating.
Yeah, I definitely think, considering we're 1 goal off. Considering we were 1 goal off, 1,800 quid last week, and, you know, we were a lot further back from it at this stage of the bet.
Exactly, yeah. But it's just like 1-0 can kill your bet. Like, you know, even if there's a goal in this game now, it just changes the whole complexion of it. Like, you know, like it gives you an option to cash out. Now, I probably won't be cashing out, but it puts that option on the table. Whereas if it stays 0-0, it just drags everything down. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So Liam, I see you're back. Did you see the Milan goal?
Yeah. I didn't want to go over all ground, but what a free kick.
Yeah, it was a great one. I was saying to Dave there, like, you know, Atalanta dominated for about 8 or 9 minutes at the start, and since the goal has gone in, Milan have just been all over them. Like,
yeah, actually, I read a preview of it, and it was same old Atlanta, brand new Milan. So it's kind of saying that it was kind of like, you know what you're going to get from Atalanta, but Milan are kind of like Slat said at the start, they're like a new team since the lockdown. So yeah. Be good for the Serie.
You're saying that they have a bit more to play for as well. It'd be right. I mean, one thing being at home, but
they're probably getting the Europa League anyway. But if they win here tonight, they definitely are.
Right.
So, Atalanta on the other hand are they're worse. They're going to finish as third, but they're definitely straight into the Champions League.
So they're sitting safe for Champions League football, but they're not going to be champions. Can they even be champions mathematically? No.
Yeah, if they win their last 3 games and Juve lose them, they can be, but.
But you have to lose all 3, like.
Yeah, which is pretty unlikely.
Seems unlikely, all right.
All right, I need to get another drink there. So give me 2 minutes. I'll be back.
Yep.
Last goalie game has gone 2-2 there. That's the 3rd Serie B game with 4 goals in it, and it's barely into the second half.
You know, it's every week there. If you back over them, and it's phenomenal odds, but there's always one weak link just holding you up.
It's trying to find that one that's going to let you down more than the ones that are actually going to come in for you.
Yeah. Which one has gone to? My updates are a bit behind you.
Ascoli, is it?
Yeah.
Ascoli,
yeah. I'm saying yeah, as if my Italian pronunciations are better than yours. I'm not sure.
Well, whatever you say, I'm just going to copy anyway. So. Yeah, it's 2-2 there, and 3-1 Benevento and 3-1 Empoli.
Wow.
We were saying it's this Cremonese Spezia game that's
the killer.
And then we've 3 games that are 1-0, just starting the second half. So,
Pisa.
Yeah. Campani and Benicia versus Jugoslavia then all 1-0. So you goal or 2 on those.
As I was stepping away, I heard you ask Gary about our horse. I take it that we had no joy there.
Yeah, he doesn't think it came anywhere anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed to be running well for a while for a 25-1 shot. You know, I don't want to get as a bit of a sweat out of it, I suppose. Like, but yeah, I think it drifted out of the top 3 toward the end. God,
our incredible long shot for the the Serie B, the 900-1 is looking. It's
just before you get into that, the Milan game is suspended here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, but I'm not watching. I'm going to try to get it up on screen because I'm only watching the highlights kind of animation. But I mean, it's just all around halfway line and it's not suspended.
Which game?
Milan.
You have it up there?
I have it up here, yeah. There's a VAR call here, I think.
For what, a goal or a foul?
I don't know. I just got back to my screen and I saw the keeper.
Reviewing for red card, it says here. I was wondering because it's right in the middle of the pitch, like so.
Yeah, so it won't be a red card. It's definitely a free for Atalanta. Basically, oh no, there's going to be a red card. And it's going to be a penalty for.
You were so sure the way you.
No, because there was an initial foul that was a free, right. And basically there was an Atalanta player on the ground with the ball between his legs, and AC Milan players come in, went over the top of the ball and stood on his knee. It's a penalty. Penalty to Atalanta, probably a red card as well.
What odds for AC Milan?
Just the yellow. Should be a red
penalty to Atalanta.
Penalty to Atalanta, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say AC Milan went out to 9-10 just before it went suspended, but I don't know what they went out from. But for a team to be 1-0 up at home and be 9-10, you think something is going to happen, you know?
Like, if you're given the penalty there, you have to give the red card.
Well, if it's not a goal scoring opportunity, you don't really, right? I mean, your man's lying on the ground with the ball between his legs. Doesn't really matter where in the pitch that's going on.
I know, but standing on someone's knee, like.
Yeah, that's the one. Is it an accident? Then it's it's nothing. If it's intentional, it's definitely a red card.
It looked intentional to me now, but no.
I was just
the
about
guy
to explain.
did make the meal of it, but sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, while we're waiting for the penalty, I was just explaining to Gary that the 900-1 we've done is actually looking, other than Pisa who are 1-0 down, it's looking incredibly good. So Cittadella to win. Oh, sorry, Cittadella.
Are you able to get that bet up on the camera?
I can't because it's a big long piece of paper, unfortunately.
I actually think this could be Gomez taking the penalty, Liam.
I mean, if he's the penalty taker and he's 2-1 to score any time.
Is he number 18 by any chance? Don't know whether you know them that intimately or not. But.
No. Let me check here. I've got the squad open. Gomez is... No, it doesn't say on soccer. It's not soccer.
Right. He missed it anyway.
He missed it, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Malinovsky.
That's okay, then.
That's a poor penalty.
So he goes in there. I mean, that is a red card in my book.
Sorry, no. You've been trying to get to this 901 bet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Sorry, just open goal for Spezia and the Spezia Cremonese game. Was missed.
God, those open goals, when you see them live and the bet doesn't come in, it's just heartbreak. We have Spezia to win and they're drawn, so that's okay. Pisa to win and they're losing, so that's a bit dodgy. But then over 2.5 in the Empoli game in, over 2.5 in the Benevento game in, both teams to score in the Ascoli game in. Perugia to win, they're 2-0 up. I mean, they were 8-5 to win, they're 2-0 up. And over 2.5 in the Juve Stabia game, which is 1-0. So 2 goals there, 2 goals in Pisa and Spezia to score. But I mean, for 900-1, that's not particularly bad.
Oh, not at all. What was I going to say? Spezia have been dominating too, by the way. Just based on the match stats, like they've 40 dangerous attacks to 13, and they've 2 shots on target to 0. They look to be dominating possession as well. They have 2/3 of the possession. On the other hand, you're saying Perugia were 8-5. If you just looked at those stats alone, you wouldn't even think they're winning that match. Like they've had a quarter of the attacks. They've well under half the possession. Only had 2 shots on target. 6 shots in total against Intella's 10 shots. So,
but yeah. But some of the odds, I find that certainly in the French league too is always the one that the odds just surprise me so much. Like Perugia let me just check my notes on that. Yeah, they're playing basically for survival, right? And they're away to Ascoli, who are not that far ahead of them, but definitely safe. So like Ascoli didn't have a huge amount to play for. They've only 13 wins in the season. Perugia have 12 wins in the season, but struggling just above the relegation zone. And 8-5 just seems like an incredibly generous price for that. Not that it's going to matter because Pisa probably won't come back, but
Milan are on a good attack here. Rebic has the ball on the left-hand side. Unlucky, he nearly got through to Ibrahimovic. Counter-attack for Atalanta now.
I'm looking for a few corners. I think there's only been one corner in that Milan game so far.
Oh, really?
More now before half time.
Atalanta have a good attack here now.
Am I right to think that Ibrahimovic is his contract up with Milan, or is there kind of questions about whether he's going to stay there next season?
I'd say his contract is definitely up. I'd say they would have been mad to give him more than a year, that way.
I thought he was just getting 1 year contracts the last couple of seasons, wasn't
he? Yeah. He's like a fine wine at this stage, though, isn't he?
Yeah. No, he still has all his playing ability, but he's lost any pace that he had. So he's very.
But he's the sort of player I'd say good for team morale overall.
Yeah.
You have him on your side, you kind of feel like you're just going to win, sort of thing,
Yeah, he just inspires confidence,
Yeah, but you see that with a lot of teams taking guys back for just even to the training camps. It's the impact he would have on a young striker in the squad would be unbelievable.
So yeah.
We really need a goal here for Spezia. I've over 2.5 done in that Spezia game, and from looking at it, the likelihood is all three have to come from Spezia. Oh, Milan have just did a crossbar.
Oof.
He went suspended. I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah, I might have been given offside, but I definitely would have been given offside. But it broke through, and it was a shot from about 25 yards and hit the crossbar. But he was 10 yards offside, so
10, just borderline 10 yards.
Well, I was trying to watch two games, so I was watching the Spezia game and I just looked and saw that he was taking a shot.
9 yards of daylight.
I didn't see the build.
It reminds me that doing this and the sort of Gillette Soccer Saturday guys. The first time you watch that, you think, how are they not sharper at doing this? Watching multiple games, but when you actually have to look at 3 or never mind 5 or 6 games at the same time, it's an awful lot of information to keep track of.
Yeah, it's a good counter-attack here for AC Milan now, 3-on-3. Oh, close. Ibrahimovic got the ball, did a few step overs and put the ball across the box for Rebic, but the defender just got to it ahead of him.
There's 2 of those Serie B games now that are 3-2, Empoli and Benevento.
I wonder with the Serie B, with a strategy that could be good is Yankees or those kind of multiple bets.
Yeah, where you can get away with one letting you down, kind of.
Yeah, but you do, instead of doing over 2.5, do over 3.5 or even over 4.5. But pick 5 of the games and whatever that is, a lucky 32 or something like that. Because it does seem to be that there's always loads of goals, but there's always 1 or maybe 2 absolute, damn squibs.
Yeah. So is there any other goals that are going in Serie?
Not in any of the games we need. It's just these games that already have enough goals that are scoring.
Yeah.
Instead of 3 matches at 1-0, and that Spezia game still 0-0. We're coming up on 60 minutes.
Yeah, my over 2.5 in all of them is going to really fall down on that Spezia. It's just so hard to see 3 goals in half an hour. But the over 1.5 is still well within reach.
Now, the only thing I'd say is, if Spezia can score in the next couple of minutes, then I wouldn't put it beyond the realms of possibility that they'll actually get 3, because they're dominating so much that if the other lad's spirit drops a bit, then
yeah, once you open them up, you can just keep on.
Yeah, kind of like the floodgates that open, like, you know.
Hopefully.
I think I mentioned to both of you guys before that book I had. I think it's called It's a Numbers Game. And it was like a sort of statistical analysis of football generally. And it had a lot of good information around goals coming in clusters and, you know, corners and all sorts of things like that you'd never think of. But, you know, if you're looking at, I'm sure over goals now in that Spezia game is really, really high priced. So I wonder if there's, you know, is there any kind of link between that type of stats and betting? Because the odds in those games always seem to follow the same pattern. Boom.
Atalanta goal. Duvan.
Okay. He's going to move in the summer or at the end of the summer.
Now, I wouldn't get too excited because there was a big kind of scramble beforehand, so anything could happen when it goes to like draw the VAR review. But nobody seems to be reacting like it's going to be.
Looks like it's going to stand.
Yeah, like nobody seems to be reacting that much, but just the fact there was loads of scrambling happening is jaw could hit off someone's hand or something like that. It's a good break.
No. 5 defenders in the box when he scored.
Yeah, just ricocheted everywhere, like fell to his feet.
Right, if it just stays like that now for another 60 odd minutes, my score draw will come in.
Yeah, that's back in play, so that goal stands.
And
the 10 to 11 on him to score any time now is looking awful generous, you know.
Oh God, Spezia are knocking on the door. Something serious here.
I have a feeling it's going to be another Deportivo.
I think if they get a goal before 70 minutes, then over 2.5 has a great chance. So the next kind of 9 or 10 minutes are going to be crucial in that.
That double I had isn't looking bad. It's 8-1 for a score draw in Milan, and then for PSG to score in both halves and have 2 corners in each half.
I take it what are the stats in the first half?
PSG?
Yeah.
Well, they had a goal in 2 corners, so they had a goal in 4 corners actually, so they had more than what they needed. But,
what was the overall corners in the first half of that match?
5 in total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess they were dominating for most of the half. But yeah, I mean, you'd expect against 10 men, a goal in 2 corners seems fairly likely.
So what did that double pay? About 20-1, is it?
No, it's only 8-1.
Oh, go for it with your head.
I'll get 90 quid back on tenner, like.
Nice.
Not bad, yeah. It's looking pretty decent now.
Yes, Atalanta now are looking pretty impressive.
Looking at that myself. Corner now to Atalanta, is it?
I'm just seeing the replay, so I'm not sure. Yeah, corner. Jeez, maybe it's not so bad for the players, but the ref's jersey looks awfully like the Atalanta jersey.
Yeah, the blue, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see it here. Does Zapata take the corners? No. They just zoomed in on him. I thought it might be over the ball.
I'm trying to watch 2 things at once here. Spezia are taking things off.
Are you still keeping an eye on that Spezia game, Gary?
Yeah, that's the main one I have here now. So a big
seems to be going all right. Like
they're kind of playing in patches, like, you know, they're happy enough to pass the ball around the back, but they look dangerous when they get it forward. It's just they're not getting it forward enough for my liking at the minute.
See, the problem now for us is Spezia, like they're third. What are they, 7 points out of the 8 points behind Crotone in the guaranteed promotion places. So, you know, are they going to fight to the end of the match for that win? It's hard to know.
Yeah.
Game's starting to open up now, though. Cremonese had a decent attack there. It's just gone wide. Yeah, it's starting to open up. There's a booking there in Milan. Dave, what have you got? Over 4 goals? Is that the game you've over 4 goals in?
Well, 4+ goals, 6+ cards, and 9+ corners.
Okay.
Shame you didn't go for the cards in the PSG game.
Oh, I'm telling you, surely, like, I presume the red card just counts as one of that bet, but there's still what, 9 cards in that game already.
You know the way on Betfair now they do like over 60 points, like over 60 card points.
Oh, so yeah, they have the weightage between red and yellow.
Yeah. So I presume red is 10 and the yellow is 5.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. And then I presume a second yellow, it's just 2 5s given you.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that in there. That doesn't count. You don't get the 2 yellows and the red as 20 points.
Yeah. No, it's more that you'd be losing out on the yellow if it's a straight red. You know, that sort of way. Like you should, you know, the way you're saying it's weighted, you do get compensated for that thing.
Jesus, goals all over the place in every other game. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at it here: 4 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals, 5 goals.
Back into the second half in the PSG game now. I'd love to see Saint-Etienne get a goal just to open things up a bit, to make it a bit entertaining. But
yeah,
it's like PSG have it wrapped up already.
We were talking there about Ibrahimovic and experienced players. I think, is it Leighton Orient that Yaya Toure is training with?
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. I'm not sure if he's going to stay with them or if he's just training there, but it'd be nice to see him get involved with a club like that.
Yeah,
something about Leighton Orient that, I don't know, I think it's mainly from gambling that I always just have a bit of affection toward them. I'm always like happy to see them doing well. It's that sort of thing where I think just 3 or 4 times they came good for me in an accumulator.
Got the opposite to that. You know, you'd feel bad. Charlton got relegated there. They spent 1 week in the relegation zone the entire season, and that was this week, and they got relegated.
No way, that's hard.
Yeah.
And so Barnsley had spent like most of the season there. It was something like 25 weeks or something like that.
From Christmas until this week, they've been in the relegation the whole time.
And they were playing against Brentford. Brentford needed to win to like have a chance of going into automatic promotion. And Barnsley scored a 92nd minute winner, counter-attacking away to stay up like and relegate Charlton. It was unreal, like.
I'm going for them in fairness.
Yeah. I'm losing hope in Spezia now.
Yeah, it's drifting away from us.
Getting to that 70-minute mark now, so.
Yeah, every time they get the ball forward, they just kind of lose it needlessly, like. Yeah. Although the keeper's had a shoddy kick out now, this could be the break they need.
Come on.
Oh, no. So basically, like the keeper, they've got a good free kick in a decent position now, Spezia, but the keeper scuffed the kick out and went to the right winger. So he was running through and the defence was kind of disorganised. And he had an easy pass on and kind of just underhit it and the defender was able to get it. But like it was kind of a 10-yard pass that if you had made it, your man was through on goal, you know. They have a decent free kick opportunity here now. So they're about just right of centre, about 25 yards out, maybe a bit closer than that.
It's mad for a team all over them. They're 3-1 to win, like, you know.
Do you know what? I actually think I'm going to go in and back that because, like, there's only going to be one winner in this game. So
16-5 now.
Yeah, I'm backing that if I can get in before they score here.
They're dominating, are they?
Yeah, like, I mean, as I said, they've had a few kind of silly giving the ball away and things like that. But there's only one team that's going to win. If there's it could end up 0-0, but I can't let them go at 3-1. You know.
Saint-Etienne have had a few chances here now. Oh, it's gone suspended. I was just going to say, hopefully they might come back into it, but Oh no, yeah, I thought PSG were going to score, but it was offside. So it's staying 1-0. But yeah, just for the sake of entertainment, I'd like to see Saint-Etienne get back.
Paddy Power have a 2 now.
Oh, do they? It's saying
Yeah.
offside, but it's still suspended. So, I don't know. Maybe it's another VAR decision.
Yeah, I'm actually at the flicking over to it here now. So, another player has got
Yellow card.
AC Milan are on a pretty interesting counter attack here. Oh, he just fell over the ball. Oh my god! Tried to roll it back across himself and stood on it.
So I can see that in that game, there's 2 corners and 2 cards and 2 goals.
Yeah. The offside was given, Dave, just so you know.
Plenty of time left anyway.
This Atalanta game is mad how big the pitch looks. Like the players are so spread out, you know. Oh, here we go. It must be raining in Italy. They're falling at an awful rate.
Yeah, I've just flicked back to that game there. So.
Offside.
There's nothing going on in Serie B the last 15-20 minutes. It's
the opposite of last
after
week.
That first half.
All my eggs are very firmly in Spezia's basket anyway, so.
It's over 2.5 you need there, Gary, is it?
Yeah, and then I've backed Spezia in a single now, so.
Okay, yeah, so just any win will do. But for your over 1.5, that'll be, I think, like, you know, that's the live. If you've 1 goal coming into the last 5 minutes in a few games, you know what I mean? Like, you're still well in it, like.
Yeah, so we need 2 games with 1 goal each: Venezia, Juve, and Cosenza, Pisa.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, and Trapani, Pescara as well.
Yeah.
And then.
But those games, there's just nothing going on in them in the second half. Like, I mean, the Trapani game now, there's been like 11 shots on target, 9 off target, plenty of attacks, sort of end to end, like, you know, pretty balanced in terms of shots and attacks as well. So I'd expect a goal there. Genzi match, or Venetian match, sorry, not as much.
Atalanta are back to kind of dominating this game now.
Yeah, big time.
Gone to half time, so chance here.
No. Tame enough shot. It's very hard to put a powerful shot through that many people, though.
Yeah. You're about 3 seconds ahead of me, like.
Well, am I?
I could just see the build up, and he was like just lining up to take the shot, and you were like, tame enough shot. I was like, all right.
I think we talked about that last week, and I'll be from watching a match. My old man is watching the same one. Whatever way his feed is, he's so far ahead of me, and he'll just send me this like that angry red face in WhatsApp, and you're like, okay, well, I know that Arsenal are after conceding, so you're just sitting there waiting from watching Arsenal take a corner, going, who's going to let this ball go through their legs?
Where's the start of it going to go on?
Yeah. It's half time anyway in Milan.
Half time, yeah. Pretty entertaining first half, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's something, like, I know I have a soft spot for the Serie A, but people talk about the Serie A like it's this old 1980s, 0-0s, boring league, but it's such an entertaining league. You know, if you have to, you know, whatever you're into, what I think I said it to you guys before, like what I think is important or, you know, particular about it is that every team kind of plays differently. You know, so you'll get, you know, week to week is just kind of different games, different styles. It's pretty entertaining.
Evo's gone 4-1 up on Cittadella anyway.
Saw that.
Spezia have a decent attack going here.
If you could just back over, can you do that with Serie B? I've seen it like in the Premier League where you can just back over 28 goals.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Actually, I saw a William Hill special this weekend. It's 1 goal in every match of the Premier League on the last day at 25-1. So like
25-1?
Over 0.5 in every game. It's 25-1. It's, if you do it without the special, it's 1-3 in total combined for the 10 games.
Right, I was wondering, yeah. So they obviously limit what you can bet on that too, though, right?
I think it's £1 to win 5.
Oh, her penalty to Cremonese, I think. No, they're actually giving a free out instead of a penalty. He's giving a free for a dive.
God.
Kind of relieved because I've backed Spezia in a single, but the keeper came sliding out and the striker went down. It hasn't shown a replay now. Like, I thought it was odds on to be a penalty because those things normally are. But the ref has given a free out instead. So is the ball? Yeah, I don't know whether the keeper touches him or not.
There's no review in that league anyway, is there?
I don't think so, no.
PSG had another corner there, so I'm just one corner, one goal from that side of the bet coming off.
I mean, to be 1-1 at half time in the Milan game is exactly what you'd be wanting for the other leg as well.
It's that thing you were saying though. It's not the best sort of bet to be cheering on, like, because you kind of just going into the second half, you just want nothing to happen at all,
Yeah, well, you're never home. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The team to win could be 2-0 up, or but a draw, you're never really.
You can be dead in the bet, but yeah, you can't be looking comfortable until the final whistle's blown.
Yeah.
I actually did that last season a bit. I did like 4 draws, and I got a couple of them up, and I got a good few runs as well because, even if it's like 1-0 or 2-1 or whatever, once there's a goal in the difference, you're all in there. Like, and you could. Your 4 games could be losing, but you're still only like a couple of goals away from, getting back into it. I think they are good bets if you can stay in it. But then, as you said, if you go 3-0 down, you're kind of like, right.
But I wonder, like, I'm going to check it here. What percentage of Premier League games are a draw? And I would guarantee that there's not even close to that being back to be a draw. If, like, say, 30% of the games are a draw, there's no way 30% of the bets are a draw.
It looks to be a goal in the Pisa game.
Yeah, 1-1.
1-1.
Nice.
Both teams have scored that, did we?
It's in the over 1.5, but in the incredibly big odds one, it's Pisa to win. So.
Oh yeah, it's good for that too. Yeah.
So how's that looking?
Yeah, remind us what else is in that.
Every time you've gone to talk about that, we've like cut away to something else. So you better get it out now.
Perugia to win, they're 2-0 up.
Looks safe.
Yeah, let me make sure I got these scores still right. So Perugia to win 2-0 up, yeah. Over 2.5 in the Benevento Frosinone game, that's in. Ascoli Pordenone, both teams to score, that's in. Over 2.5 in the Venezia game. Obviously, that's a weak link. Empoli over 2.5, that's in. Spezia to win, so that's 0-0. Pisa to win, that's 1-1. Oh, Cittadella to win. I think they're losing, are they?
Oh, Cittadella are down 4-1.
Oh, that's it over. They weren't losing when I was looking last. I forget that. So
yeah, they kind of fell apart there. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just the over 1.5 and the over 2.5.
Spezia should have scored there. Oh my God! I thought I was in. The keeper just flicked it wide, like.
So for the £50 bet, there's only 4 goals needed. It's not too bad, but 2 in the one game, obviously.
That's going to be a tough one, yeah. Coming in on 80 minutes.
Yeah.
PSG, the corners are up in that now, so just need a goal from them against 10 men.
How many corners?
7 altogether, but PSG have had 2 in each half, or 2+ in each half. So that's all I needed from them, and I need a goal in each half.
Do you ever bet those exact, 10 corners or 3 cards or no?
I think
so
they're just
hard.
Yeah, it's such just an outright gamble. Like, it's just rolling the dice, betting it's going to be a 4.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way you can go.
I've been known to do it.
We're definitely going to have over 9 because they always do, but they never. Then once they get their 10th, they stop going for corners. Like, it's not in any way related to how the match is going to unfold.
Feel like betting on a specific number in roulette. You're just.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, you're just picking a number and hoping it lands on it. Like, fair enough. I'm sure you can pick in a range of the more likely numbers for it to be, but no,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous gambling. Like.
I still can't believe Spezia missed this chance. Like,
You're still ruined that one.
he was like edge of the 6-yard box. All he had to do was beat the keeper, and it looked in. The keeper got his like fingertips to it and pushed it out for a corner. Sick. They're out to 5-1 now, which I still think is a good bet. Like they're still trying. Like, you know, they haven't given up on it. So
Yeah.
they look the better team. So
I've made that mistake so many times though. You back a team beforehand because you think they're good price at 11-10. Then they're 1-0 down. They're a great price at 31-10, and you just start piling in. And then they draw the match.
it's an injury break now. So
God, it's like the opposite of last week. You know, we had a quiet enough first half in Serie B, and then tons of goals came in the second half. Gave me great confidence when there was loads of goals in the first half this week.
Yeah. Well, there has been loads of goals in the second half, just not in this match.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just in the games that already had plenty. I think like it's nearly up to an average of 3 goals per game. I think there's been maybe 25 or 26 goals scored across 9 games now.
Yeah. But Gary's 100-1 is actually like it's only Spezia killing that as well. Like the rest of us looking pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's over 2.5 for that, is it?
No, it's a combination of 2.5 for both teams to score. There's a couple of goals missing, but
yeah,
like Perugia, both teams to score. That's 2-0.
the Spezia game is the big one. Like,
Yeah.
There's a corner, so hopefully they'll get something out of this.
Just waiting for it to go suspended. Oh no, I've already just seen the corner now. You're ahead of me.
I'm watching it here, so
Corners are just so often a letdown in football now.
it's the 10th corner of the game.
But you said there about corner slats, and that reminds me of that book I was mentioning. So it's 1 in 20 corners results in a shot on target, and of those, 1 in 20 is a goal.
No way.
Yeah.
Am I right that that's 400 corners, 1 goal?
Yeah. And actually, there was in the book they quoted, and I've seen the clip of Mourinho just when he first came to Chelsea, and he said some comment about sort of, you know, what's it like being in England or whatever, and he said that I don't understand, English fans cheer corners like you've scored a goal, but why do you cheer a corner? And you're just sitting there going, you're an idiot, Jose. Like, we cheer corners because they're great, but then you look at the stats and they're not that good at all. Like, but if you're at a match, like,
crazy. I mean, I wonder if you put it into how much time is spent around a corner, you know, from when the ball goes out to when it's a goal kick or cleared, whatever, the ball's taken out of the box. You're talking a couple of minutes there, and then
well, I can say it
every 400.
As an Arsenal fan, there's nothing worse than having a corner. They used to be the absolute bane. You know, you're just watching. I can remember as far back as the guy who went to the defensive midfielder who went to Barcelona. I've forgotten his name. God, you're just watching your defensive midfielders wander up into the box for a corner, and you're going, "Oh my God!" There's only one way this ends. It's only like Gareth Bale then just hearing across the halfway line with the ball 5 seconds later.
But like, if you're saying then, right, so you're talking 1 goal for every 400 corners. That just seems mental. But like, if you're just saying about 2 minutes or so for a corner, like, you know, on the clock, that's 800 minutes. You're talking, you know, pretty close to 9 matches of just corners. If you watched 9 matches of corners, you'd be thinking you're
2 minutes per corner is probably generous. Like, some of them take a while, but some of them are very quick. Like, they go straight back to it.
Even if you were talking, okay, you know, 5 games of corners, if the whole game was just corners, you'd be expecting goals every minute. Like, but you have 1 goal in 5 matches.
But if you think about like a team you support, so just whatever team you're watching, like West Ham, like how many goals do West Ham score from a corner every season? 3 or 4. Like some specialist teams might score more. You know, a team like Arsenal might score 2 or 3. You know, so that's over the course of 40 games.
Yeah,
they're probably getting somewhere between, you know, 4 and 8 corners a match. God, I can't believe this Spezia game. Like 4-1, 2-2, 1-1, 2-3, 4-2, 2-0, and then just 0-0, 1-0, 1-0. Cruelness.
It's not for the want of trying anyway. Like Spezia have, in fairness to them, been trying here, but it's just they seem to panic when they get into the final third. They're getting into a decent position. They're getting into the 18-yard box, and then panicking and fluffing their lines or taking a really shit shot or whatever.
Panicking, or they're remembering the bet they put on at home, and they're just they've scored 52 goals this season, so they're well able to do it, but.
Yeah, there's still time, 5 minutes.
Yeah. The 1.5 is just about achievable, but the 2.5 is gone, and your win is definitely still in play.
Yeah, to be honest, the win puts me up for the night, so I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. I think the PSG double with the Atalanta Milan draw is looking like the most likely winner now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time left. Obviously, that Milan Atalanta game could go either way, but the fact that it's a kind of tight, well-contested match and already has both teams scoring.
Stop. Don't do that to us.
It's a great bit of play. It actually would have been a really, really good goal. Like, it's a really good touch. Ball is lobbed over his head, and he takes it as it's landing with his right foot, brings it into his pad on his left foot and takes a shot. But it was kind of easy enough for the keeper. But it would have been a savage goal if it had gone in. Spezia are playing like they really want to win this game anyway, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I hope they don't get caught on the counter-attack now.
You had mentioned, Slats, about how many goals on average tonight in the Serie B. It's actually, I'd say it's mental, because it was 6 goals in the early kickoff as well.
Really? So that's 32 goals in 10 games. Over 3 goals per game, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you're probably looking at another 1 or 2 along the way here. Yeah, in fact, Empoli have gone up 4-2 now, so... Yeah, I definitely look into that if any bookies would give you, for a night of Serie B and over 25
the worry would be
or whatever.
That if you bring attention onto the market, that they might start to adjust the prices like the Premier League and stuff like that.
I wonder would they one anonymous gambler comes along asking about odds and they, actually investigate the whole market.
I'll just show them my Betfair account and ask them, can I get these specials? I'm sure they'd allow it.
Whatever you want, just pat me on the back. Here's a free bet while you're at it.
Yeah. That reminds me.
Bets.
The time Gary went, actually, I think the 3 of us might have been there at the Shelbourne Park for the dog racing, and I went up and they'd wipe the price. They'd wipe the price off for trap number 4, and I was like, "What odds are trap number 4?" And he was like, "Whatever odds you want." And I was like, "All right." Just, but I had a few beers. I'd already kind of handed over the money. I was like, "I know this dog is not going to win." Just walking back. What did you get? Well, 5,000 to 1. It doesn't matter what I got. He's not winning.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Just as your brain processes the information, you're like, "Oh God, that sounds great."
I was going to just say, just for anybody that's interested, Paddy Power are giving a free £5 bet on Sunday for the last day of the Premier League. So make sure to use it. You don't have to deposit, or you don't have. Once you have an account with them, that's it. That's all. The only kind of stipulation for it. So
nice one. Appreciate it. They've done a few of those recently, actually, Paddy Power.
Yeah, they've been doing it quite regularly, I suppose it might just entice people back who haven't used their account in a while, that way.
I was reading an article.
Usually when you're getting you get a free £5 bet, you're not going to stick it on an even money shot. Usually people go in and stick it on one of those same game multis. So you're probably putting it on a 50 to 1 shot anyway,
I think
Yeah.
if you do it for the Premier League this Sunday, you're going to do every game to have a goal or both teams to score in every match or some big, juicy one. Yeah. What do you think about the the Premier League matches this weekend? As seen as our Serie B bets are looking goosed.
Yeah.
Do you think
But I was going to say to you, you didn't really finish. Did you say it's a one limit on that William Hill bet for?
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's £1, and you win 25, but you win five £5 bets,
Okay.
and there's no condition on the bets.
And is that for new accounts only?
The way I saw it, it had a promo code, so I don't know if you can use that promo code in an existing bet. I think most of those offers usually are new accounts, but I'd have to check. I haven't done it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like free money. You just don't. You wouldn't expect it at all anywhere.
No, the only one I could actually see being nil all is the Leicester Man United game, because
hold up. Spezia. Oh no. They had like 4-on-2.
Jesus.
They're still attacking though.
Come on.
Yes. Oh no.
How many times have they broken your heart, Gary?
4 minutes added on. This was in the 91st minute.
I think any of our regular watchers are going to get used to this 91st minute heartbreak of one goal.
Yeah. Like, so basically there was a attack and they got to the byline and there's this loop and cross put in, so it probably went about 40 foot in the air and was dropping down, and the striker managed to catch it on the volley, but the keeper made a good save. But if you had parried it out, there was 2 or 3 Spezia players running in on goal.
Yeah, that would have been poetic as well in the 91st minute, but
a bit angsty now about PSG second goal. I did not expect it to be, half an hour into the second half against 10 men and they're still sitting on a 1-0 lead.
There's nothing like a red card though to kill a bet. Even you're back in. We've done it before. You're back in big, like Man United -1, and they're playing against 10 men. They just scrape the 1-1 draw. It's just, I hate red cards.
Or it is often that they just scrape that 1-0 win. Like the other team don't really have anything to play for. They just sit back and then, the team with 11 have won the game already. At least, like in the last couple of minutes here, PSG have had a shot or 2 on target. Still, they went there about 20 minutes without any shots. So.
Yeah.
At least they're trying to put on a bit of pressure again. Plenty of time, but when it gets past that 70-minute mark, you start getting a bit worried about things.
Just on this one, right? So I'm looking at the Milan Atalanta match here, right? And Zapata to score 2 or more, right? He's obviously scored 1 already. I presume that 2 or more includes the 1. It's to score another goal, basically.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
He's 11-5 to score another goal.
Yeah, he would do.
Seems very generous, considering he was 10-11 to score his first. But I wanted to make sure that included the first one.
Who is it to score?
Zapata.
That's busy game. Still giving you any bit of hope, Gary?
There was a decent chance there. Looked like a handball to me, but it's going to dwindle away now. There's 50 seconds left. The Cremonese keeper has just hoofed it down the pitch, so need a Spezia to recover and a quick attack. And Spezia just got a free kick here now from that goal kick, so 30 seconds left. I'd assume the keeper's going to just kick it long.
You'd hope.
Yeah. They're kind of messing about now, so they've taken a short. It's hoofed into the box now. Oh, God. It's a terrible ball into the box. Yeah, so that game's probably over there now.
So it's down to the double and the PS and the Milan bet, basically. Oh, that's a great
I still have that other bet riding on Milan.
Yeah, sorry, the Milan bet on its own and the Milan double.
Yeah. Now, it's not great, the Milan bet on its own, because it needs 9 corners and there's only been 2 so far.
Okay.
So that's not ideal. It needs 6 cards, and there's only been 2, which is a bit more achievable. I mean, like, the ref does, tend to give a few warnings early on, and then hand out a few more cards in the second half. But the corners is looking dodgy with 7 needed with 40 minutes left.
Yeah, we said it last week as well, but those gluts of corners that lead into each other seem to be
They
kind
do
of
happen,
gone.
yeah.
But I thought they used to happen loads more.
Yeah, there was just one of the games that I was looking at earlier. It did just had a corner, and then corner again from the other side, and then corner again from the other side.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want. But yeah, maybe you were saying they don't tend to happen as often these days.
But then I wonder, is it just you've got that rose-tinted memory of things in the past, and just
maybe you just remember 4 or 5 occasions.
Yeah, before I read that Mourinho quote about how useless corner was, I used to love them. And this Atalanta game is absolutely end to end. It's great entertainment. I think we've said it before, but I think for the Premier League, I know it's not great for the actual in the stadium fans, but the Friday night matches are going to be huge for the television. For the television companies. Atalanta nearly scored there.
Corner, is it?
Yeah, it was a deflection that nearly went in.
Corner in the Milan game, is it?
Yeah, for Atalanta. Atalanta are only 6-4.
Yeah,
so what we were saying.
You hear me shouting. You know, there's a goal.
Well, I'll probably just see it go suspended first anyway.
Yeah.
I'm kind of keeping more of a focus on the PSG game because I need a bloody goal here. 13 minutes left. 10 against 10 men.
Oh.
Surely Saint-Etienne are just going to fire at some stage.
Yeah, surely at some point you just throw caution to the wind and they're going to start getting.
I think so. Yeah, like you go down 1-0 and then you get a red card and you're kind of hanging in for the whole match. But at some point you have to put an attack together. And
yeah, because they'd have to think as well.
Had a few chances like themselves.
Yeah, but they'd have to think as well that extra time is just going to kill them. Like 30 minutes. Football trainers are like machines now. They're 90 minutes or 92 minutes in their legs. You never mind the red card, they'd be in trouble in the injury time or the extra time.
It's one thing I love about the NBA betting is when it goes to overtime, your overs points that all counts like. So, unlike soccer where you need the goals to come in the 90 minutes, you can have a player be getting close to his over target, and then you get an extra few minutes of overtime, and he often does it within that.
Yeah.
Nice.
What is the overtime in basketball?
I don't. Is it the full? It's not a full 10. No, it's 5 minutes. So the quarters are 10 minutes each, and then overtimes are 5 minutes. But it's quite often that if it goes into one overtime, it will go into a second or even a third. Because it's obviously a tight match at that point anyway.
Yeah.
And now at the same time, I've seen loads of games where it goes into overtime and then one team just annihilate the other team. It's like they're just like, fuck this, let's just
keeping the big guns on the bench kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they just so you see the result and you're going, geez, they destroyed them, and then you're like, hang on, that went to overtime. And they win the thing by about 15 points. Like,
when did you say that's back? Next week or the weekend?
Yeah, I think the 30th of July. Yeah. Looking forward to some nice late night gambling.
Yeah. Milan had a good chance there, but they just kind of lost the run of themselves in the box, and Atalanta cleared.
Yeah, because I saw that happen on my screen, and I was like, something mustn't happen here because you hadn't let a yelp out of it, like so.
Yeah. They've gone to VAR though, have they? Or are they just showing the replay? It's not suspended.
Just showing the replay, yeah, of a guy getting it in the place that most men wouldn't want to get the ball hitting off.
Most, bit of an understatement there, I think.
Yeah. Well, some people enjoy that kind of thing.
God, this has gone right down the other end now as well. They've actually got a pretty good defence, Milan. They're pretty comfortable snuffing stuff out.
It's mad seeing the San Siro empty though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so
I have to
glad
say
we
that-
got to go and see that. Like, you know, before.
I was going to say that one of the most enjoyable matches I've ever seen. That one.
Yeah, it was a great day. Great 2 days. Sampdoria Torino game was really good as well.
Yeah. Oof.
I think Sampdoria are becoming
now in
an Italian
PSG.
team. How many minutes? That's 10.
10 minutes left, yeah.
And what do you need?
Just PSG to score another goal.
And then nothing in the last half an hour or so of the Milan game.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I can take a goal each, like, but yeah.
A goal each, 6 corners and 5 cards.
Ideally, both bets come in. Jesus, yeah, it's only up to 3 corners now. That lot of corners didn't happen.
Oh, Atalanta. Oh, another corner for Atalanta.
Oh, grand. So it seems a fair distance away from 9 altogether. Like,
What's this bring it up to? 6 or 5?
4 in total.
4. Oh wow. 6,
Well,
5, 4.
That's what Bet365 is saying anyway.
Go on. Oh, a lot of ping pong in the AC Milan box here. Cross. Oh. No. We've lost Gary, have we?
No,
That's it,
sorry.
man.
Sorry. I was trying to check some odds there.
I'm just trying to see what's going on with this PSG game now myself.
Atalanta are laying siege to the AC Milan box here.
So
Yeah.
They have a lot of unmarked players as well. Go on. Oh. But a shed out one
Saint-Etienne
goal.
have brought on some dude from the Ivory Coast called Crasso. Presumably you don't know about him. Oh yeah, he's an attacker. I'm just trying to figure out who they brought him on for. You know, if they're subbing an attacker on and they're down 1-0, maybe they're kind of throwing caution to the wind. They have a defender sent off. You know,
Yeah.
would they risk substituting another defender off for this fella? I'm just trying to figure it out.
I think if you're the underdog and you've got a man down, your fans will forgive any kind of aggressive substitution, you know? So, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait for it to update, but it's not giving me any information on who's after coming off. So,
What do you use for that? What site do you use?
I mean, I'm just in on Soccer Way now, looking at the player names and it shows the substitutions rolling. I'd probably be better off using LiveScore or something.
Yeah, I'm in it here. I'll check it for you.
Yeah,
So
so
yours
Crasso came on. Just
Debussy went off, so he's a fullback.
Oh, really? So they've only 2 defenders on the pitch now for the last 7 minutes plus injury time.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, well, they have to go for it, like, you know.
They do, exactly. Like, well, I mean, it's a cup match, like.
Yeah, exactly. Cup final, your fans don't want you to, a noble 1-0 loss when you've been losing.
Yeah, exactly. We only had 10 men, so we didn't want to be embarrassed. Like, you have to do something. Like,
yeah.
Just hoping that it backfires.
Did you have Ravage to score?
Yeah, he's gone off there. I see
He's
that.
gone off, yeah.
That was
Came
only a
on.
novelty bet anyway, like, you know, so
I didn't see who came on. I missed it.
I kind of missed it as well. I missed it.
Do you have any fancies for Sunday's Premier League action?
No, it's hard really. It's hard to know, you know, because there's a lot of teams that have nothing to play for, you know.
Yeah.
I'll probably just go for a few goals.
What are the main battles left in it?
Leicester,
So
Man United for the
Yeah,
Champions
Leicester
League.
United is the big one.
Champions League spot, is it?
Yeah.
And then Aston Villa, West Ham. Villa need to win to stay up. Watford are playing Arsenal, are they?
Yeah.
So Watford need to win to stay up as well. Or I suppose better or match Aston Villa's result.
Do they stay up if they match it? I thought they needed to better it.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Because Villa drew the other day, didn't they?
No, they beat Arsenal 1-0.
Oh, they beat Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Villa are on 34 and Watford are on 34, but below them on goal difference by 1 goal. So if
see that Milan chance?
No, I was just checking the bloody table.
All right, I missed the
I just saw the replay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
Saint-Etienne had a couple of corners here. I was wondering, like, if you need PSG to score within 90 minutes, score another goal, would you be hoping they concede, or
yes,
where? But then it kind of gives Saint-Etienne kind of something to play for, something to defend. They just kind of sit back then again.
I don't know, like for serial winners like PSG, the last 15 minutes of a cup final when you're 1-0 up, you just wind that down.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. They have a free kick here now, Saint-Etienne. So, yeah, hopefully they score and then heartbreak in the last minute.
Are you watching it, Dave?
Yeah, I have it up. Have it up on the screen here now. Yeah.
All right. Kind of tempted to flick over from the Milan match to watch it now.
Yeah, well, Saint-Etienne have been pushing for it now. In fairness, now that was a woeful attempt at a free kick. They still just got cleared out for an attacking throw-in. So, I mean, the defender could have just left it go wide, and he did put up hoof for the throw. So,
Milan match is now drifting towards midfield ping pong. So, the entertainment is going to be elsewhere, I'd say.
Yeah, well, entertaining enough, but it's all Saint-Etienne at the moment. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I want them to score or if I just want the PSG to, to break.
Yeah.
87 minutes, so.
You would have got some price on under 1.5 goals in that match.
Jesus, wouldn't you? Well, it's like you were saying, even if it's, against the team, in favour of the team that you're backing, a red card just seems to kill goals in football matches.
Yeah.
Now there's potential here for PSG to break.
It's like what I was saying earlier about, tracking all those goals that season and how long in possession a team is before they score. The goals tend to come from mistakes, and quite often mistakes will come from taking chances. So if you're down to 10 men, you're going to stop taking chances. So you're not going to concede, or you're going to concede, less mistakes, so potentially less goals.
Yeah, and I mean, that can make sense in a league match where it's kind of damage limitation, but in a cup final, you'd be kind of hoping it's the opposite, that they take more chances. And I suppose they were just trying to stay in for the last 50, 60 minutes, and now they are kind of going out a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to have to be one of those, and put everything into an attack, and PSG just kind of run 2 men up the pitch on a counter and play the ball into the net.
AC Milan are absolutely giving this everything now.
Yeah.
It's nice to see.
Oh, Jesus, that's a dodgy back pass by Atalanta.
Yeah, I thought PSG were breaking away there a bit, but in fairness, Saint-Etienne are just defending well. Oh, no. There's an injury, clock stopped. Well, not clock stopped, but the game is stopped.
I'd say football's not far away now from clock stopping, I'd say. Timeouts and a lot.
They probably would save a bit of, lads rolling around injured, staying down for much longer than they need to.
Yeah.
But it's a Saint-Etienne guy down injured, is it?
No, I mean it is. There's a Saint-Etienne fella down with cramp now at the moment, but I think he's only taking the opportunity while the PSG lad is injured.
Oh, right.
Di Maria. He's
They're
back
saying
up
many
again.
minutes?
Injury time.
3 minutes.
We're done with 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's just nothing after going on in the second half really to justify any.
Yeah, Mbappe going off killed you, like.
Yeah, that was the other part of it then. Like, yeah, PSG losing one of their biggest attacking threats. But it's still just that when you lose when there's a red card, it can just kill goal bets. Always seems to. You never want the red card in a bet where you want goals. Even when you hope it's just going to, that the team with the red card is going to fall apart, it just doesn't happen that often if they do. They're actually on a pretty decent attack here against Saint-Etienne. Yeah, the problem is PSG aren't exactly pushing for the counter-attack. They're just running down the clock when they do get the ball back.
Yeah. Keep relying on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Head up and kick it up the pitch. You probably have a striker up there with
no, there's
one
no
defender
but it won't be
back.
that much long by now.
Rolling it out there, they're just tapping it around.
No more.
Atalanta on attack here now.
Free kick to PSG around halfway. They're going to take all day now.
I can't tell, Gary, if you're ahead of me or behind me in this stream. Because
I think I'm behind.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking at corner. Is it?
I'm looking at the substitution now. So tell me when you come up.
I'm at the substitution as well. Yeah.
All right, great.
67:55 is my time.
I'm 68:05:06, so I'm a couple of seconds ahead. So.
Is that a corner now for Atalanta? Because I just saw the shot on the ball flashing wide.
I didn't think, actually, looking at the way the players are lined up, I'd say it is. There's a few Atalanta players in the Milan box.
Yeah, they're in the box. Yeah. Oh, that looked like a Saint-Etienne penalty.
You kick off his hand, is it?
Well, but that's not a foul, no?
Oh, sorry. This player was running in.
Surely they have to VAR that.
I don't think there's anything in that.
I think that's a penalty.
Oh.
They're not giving it, but...
It went down very easily. The defender was pulling his leg away as it was going down. I don't think there was any real contact.
Still contact, though, like.
Contact isn't a foul, though. Like, that's the thing that drives me mad about modern football. Like, contact isn't a foul, it's a contact sport. You have to actually foul someone for it to be a foul. If you just touch them...
That type of contact is a foul.
No. Not according to the ref.
Well,
or VAR.
according to me. Are you watching it?
No. Just because you said contact. I was like, why do people always rely on contact as a thing?
Yeah, I thought it was more the attacker kind of just ran into the defender, like it wasn't. He didn't really throw out a leg or anything.
Not that you can ever be comfortable backing nothing else to happen in a match, but if you were backing no more goals in this AC Milan match, you'd be fairly comfortable the way it's after going. There's a lot of kind of just nothing happening.
PSG over anyway.
Yeah, geez, I thought that one was in the bag.
Yeah, you think so, like.
To
have it up at half time as well is just cruel, like.
Yeah, and the two corners were up after about 55 minutes into the second half. Like.
Going to leave some, all the Saint-Etienne fans, but what could it be? 10 men, we lost our centre back.
That striker that came on for them was causing a bit of trouble for the defence, the PSG defence as well. Like, you'd kind of be going, should they have rolled the dice a bit earlier?
Yeah.
So now, what do we need in this? 4 cards, 4 corners, and 2 goals. 20 minutes. Nearly just back that again. You'd probably get about 200 to 100.
Oh, I'd say so. I don't see anything happening here.
Nothing going on here the last word, is there?
a few half chances, but
It's all in the middle third of the pitch, though. They really, as soon as they get past that, they kind of fall apart, both of them. And Atalanta a nice run here. Oh, deflection.
oh god, that would have been a nice goal. Like
Yeah.
one of those corners for you, though, Dave. If you just get like a goal from this, then another goal and loads of bookings, you'd be sound.
Need like a fight to break out in the middle of the pitch or something.
Yeah. Faint shout for a handball there, but
No,
I know like you can't give it, but
man, contact for the penalty, and then that call, not a handball.
I wasn't calling it. I was saying there was a shout for it.
God, with Slats' bet, you don't even know which you prefer, the corner or the penalty. Here we go.
Yeah, because its corner is taken, like not.
And you take the penalty because the likely card that will come with it as well.
Oh, AC Milan counter. 3-on-2. And now my feet is frozen. Go on, 2-on-2. 4-on-2. Get out. Oh, you klutz. Corner. No.
Your commentary doesn't help those of us that are 3 seconds behind.
So is it a corner? It's not a corner, no?
No, it's not a corner, no. It was nearly a goal.
Yeah, it is a corner, yeah. About 30 seconds later. Our Friday nights are going to descend into who can get the fastest stream of the match to be the one.
Yeah.
They actually made a mess of that, though. They had a real, they had 3-on-2 and 4-on-3 at one point. And they hit the post, actually. Oof.
I mean, the corners isn't actually looking bad now. You only need 2 more. It's only 9 corners needed.
What's the goal? What's 4 corners? Or 4 cards more, is it?
4 more cards, yeah. You'd be hoping a goal might kind of spur a bit of that.
Rip his jersey off, get a yellow card, right up the other player. He gets.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Just some bit of aggro behaviour.
When you texted me about it earlier, I said that if 50 points was 5 cards, if that was the line, I'd go over, but I wouldn't, not for 60. Should have listened.
You would back it exactly 5 cards.
No, I'd have backed under 6. I probably would have backed over 14 corners though. So.
Is anything going on there? It's still saying Milan corner for me.
Waiting for the corner.
Yeah.
Nothing
the
happened.
The keeper had a. I think when the ball came back off the post a couple of minutes ago, it hit him in the face, so he was kind of getting his composure back there.
A lashed shot out wide, then so goal kick. Nothing happening. Yeah. Has anyone heard that? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We need goals in the Premier League. We need goal scorers in the Premier League on Sunday for this 5 scores competition that we're doing.
Yeah. I was kind of unsure. I was looking at Arsenal and Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea are going to put out a full team, but Arsenal, I was wondering would they rest players for the cup. But
of course, yeah.
I saw some quote from Arteta, and he said basically we have a responsibility to the league to play the best team that we can play. So I'm going to put Aubameyang for sure. I probably put him for 2, or at least 2 Arsenal goals. I think West Ham are probably a good shout as well. Antonio, I mean, pretty bandwagon-ish of me, but I'd be going Antonio. Not sure what else.
The only thing about West Ham is that Bowen has been they're safe, and Bowen has been one of their best players attacking wise. So I know Antonio has been getting the goals, but Bowen has been creating a lot of chances. So he's 50-50 because he got an ankle injury against United the other day. So
you think without him they won't be the same threat?
Yeah, I think he's obviously they have people like Felipe Anderson and Yarmolenko and stuff to come in, but they can be hit and miss, whereas Bowen has been very good the past couple of weeks. So if there's any sort of complacency and he's not there, then it might just be a risk. But I think West Ham are a team like that. They're hard to predict. They either play terribly or they play really well. There's no kind of middle ground with them.
We talked about this recently. For a team that this season and last season to have beaten, Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, and still be in a relegation battle, shows how kind of hot and cold they can blow. Maybe I'll skip back.
Surely Man City home to Norwich. You'd be backing a few City players there.
Yeah, my issue with City players is you never know which one of them. They'll score 5 goals and you could have 5 midfielders do it. I have a small feeling that Mahrez will play at the weekend. They seem to sort of play him in the matches that don't count. So I'm thinking Mahrez there. But
who would he play instead of?
I'm not sure. But
I'm just thinking Sterling has been on decent form, but yeah, it's that thing. Could he just be rested for it or rotated
Yeah, it is such a hard team to predict, though.
It was like Liverpool last season. They had the kind of front three were all scoring. And it was just like, they'd win 4-0 and Mane wouldn't get a touch, and then the next week he'd score a hat-trick,
And then, Liverpool away to Newcastle after their, kind of celebrations with the trophy and all. I wouldn't really be expecting a huge amount out of them.
No.
Such a kind of nothing game now. You wonder what odds Newcastle are after. Could nearly sneak a win there.
Yeah, those matches with nothing to play for are just so hard to call.
Yeah, I'm just, if Newcastle are maybe 10-1 or something, you might drive around them.
We talked before about fave backing and all that and how it kind of crushes the odds. We were looking at it last week during the week. Man United against West Ham. West Ham were 11-1 at one point. It ended up being a draw, but it was a comical price. For Man United to be 2-9, considering the results West Ham had picked up in the run-in to that game. So I do kind of think there's good value in those teams that the bookies have written off. Probably because fans have written them off and they're just lumping on the favourites,
Yeah, it really does depend on what Liverpool turn up, though,
Newcastle are 13-2. There's not really any value there.
Yeah, not really. I'd be hoping for a bit more than that to get behind them.
Norwich are 33-1. That is ridiculous. But he still wouldn't back him now.
That's what I was just about to say. That I definitely wouldn't back it, but
Watford are 3-1 against Arsenal. That's actually not a bad one. They're playing for their survival, and Arsenal have been middling at best this season, and especially in the league since the lockdown.
Yeah. What odds did you say there?
29-10. That's mad.
But they're without Deeney, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
West Ham at home to Villa. West Ham are 2-1. Villa 13-10. That looks
again though. Villa need to win.
But again, they could be forcing it, and I just think 2-1 for West Ham is a bit high. What else do we have out there? Leicester 11-5 at home to United. That seems high as well. I think Palace have probably been one of the worst teams since the lockdown. Is that right? It's kind of my.
Palace have they? Yeah, they've lost the last 5 in a row. Only Norwich have done that.
Yeah. Spurs are 1-2 away to them, so.
Who are Palace?
Palace are home to Spurs. Palace are 5-1, and Spurs are 1-2. So.
Yeah, geez, you're right. Yeah, since the lockdown, they've lost. What's that? 7 games in a row. They started with a win away to Bournemouth in June, when things got back up and running. And Jesus, they've been destroyed. In their last 7 games, one match that they actually scored in. They lost in 6 of the last 7.
I do always find with clubs that have that off-field distraction, with Zaha, was he going to leave last summer and all that. Always soon after that, things just unravel for those teams. They can kind of hold it together for a little while, but it never lasts.
Yeah, Palace have been struggling for goals for, I'd say, 4 years now, like from 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So like they go in those kind of patches where they have no results and then they get a few, and I think they had one good run this season that kind of kept them up, like, that way. But they have a lot of streaks where they're picking up like 2 points and of a possible like 15 or whatever,
Yeah. I remember reading something about them during the season, and their starting team is just unbelievably old. Like I think their starting age might be like nearly 29, like 28 point something. And they very, very them and Burnley are just very old, kind of mature players, solid players, but nothing, no fresh blood there at all. With those older players, when things kind of go wrong, obviously if they're Man United type teams, it's not too bad, but down at that end, there's not a huge amount of energy left in it to turn things around.
Yeah.
This Milan match is just drifting away.
Yeah, it's kind of dwindling out.
Thinking I'd be happy out with how how much it slowed down if PSG had managed that second goal.
Yeah, I think there's going to be one chance for either team to nick it.
Milan at 9-2, like that seems a bit generous.
What are Atalanta?
15-4.
4-1.
I actually couldn't pick a team based on how they're playing the last 20 minutes.
I think Milan have looked the most dangerous. But like as you said, it's hard to pick. Like,
Man have been so solid at the back. Oh, here we go. Go on. Oh. Ibrahimovic went for the exciting pass as opposed to the simple one and didn't quite work out.
Yeah, it could be a counter attack here for Atalanta, would there?
No, I think they just slowed down too much. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day on the bet, but if I was gonna bet one more, it would be Milan here to pinch it at 9-2.
You're seeing Milan at 9-2. I see them at 6-1 here on Bet365. I mean, maybe it's just stripped it out again at the last minute. Like,
yeah, actually, the goal scorers are pretty generous.
Anyone in particular for either side?
Zlatan at 7-1 to
Yeah.
score.
He would be a man for a late winner like that, all right, wouldn't
he? Yeah.
It's funny the disparity between any time goal scorer and next goal scorer, given how late in the game it is. You'd be kind of thinking the next goal, like Gomez is 40 to any time or aging to want to score next. Like,
yeah, I feel like that's all. Sorry, go on.
Algorithms or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's just someone is like an actuary who's put up a table of how many goals come at what time in the match, and they just follow that out.
Yeah, there must be some magic to it.
Atalanta had a little bit of a spell there.
Yeah. I wonder with that Donnarumma, like, remember the last 2 summers, everybody was talking where was he going to go, Chelsea or Spain. He's kind of quiet about him now.
He had a dodgy patch though. Like, he was like the next big thing, and then I think he had a patch where he let a few kind of howlers in.
Yeah.
But he does look back, and like obviously his penalty save here is probably going to be the difference between either match winning or getting them a draw or whatever.
Yeah.
That was definitely a foul there on Milan a second ago.
Joanne is lying on the ground showing the linesman the stud marks on his sock. Like, it's okay, you've got the free.
No,
no?
No. He didn't get the free, and then Atlanta kicked the ball out for him because he was down injured.
Oh, it's just a throw. Wasn't a bad night though for the Serie B again. We kind of knocked on that door.
Yeah, it's going to happen sooner or later for sure.
Yeah. That's like 30 odd goals and we couldn't get 2 in every game. It's cruel, but Maybe it was a blessing that Spezia was 0-0 because if we had the 1-0s that just killed us, it would have been torture.
Yeah, it would have been sickening, yeah.
Nice break for Atalanta here. Oh, deflection, corner. You get those 2 goals and 7 cards in the next few minutes, your corners are looking good.
The 9 corners are in, all right, yeah.
Oh, what a control.
Yeah, with some skill there.
Yeah. God, that defender got an absolute rocket into him for the corner.
Yeah, it was a decent shot. Like, I'd look to be on target if hadn't have been a block.
Offside. Oh my God. Amateurish.
Can he be offside? Did not come back off a defender, no?
Let's see it here now on the replay. Oh,
I thought it was like a defensive header.
I should agree with that. It was a defensive header. By Zlatan, by the looks of the cameraman, anyway.
Is it not a free kick from the side?
Yeah, it was.
They gave it,
like,
yeah.
Zlatan headed the ball, so it shouldn't have been offside. Like,
yeah.
I'd say there was a full 10 metres between the offside line and where the keeper took that free. How did that not go out for a corner? Yeah, gone very quiet.
There'll be a bit of added on time, will there?
Nothing in particular, though.
Yeah, there's nothing much to garner it, really.
Big cross here.
There's probably no real bit of sport on tomorrow, then, is there?
No, well, the main sport is horse racing.
Oh yeah, any tips for it?
There's a lot.
Fancies.
Yeah, there's a lot of races. I fancy a horse called Chilier at Ascot.
I think there might be a Milan penalty, lads. It's gone suspended, and I assume it's for VAR. Red card for the centre back.
It is VAR, yeah. It does look.
But I what's happening here?
What I have isn't suspended at all for it.
I don't know. That was John, the ref sending someone
the manager
off.
got sent off.
Oh, the manager.
Ah, right.
But why did it go suspended for that? They're going back to the throw-in.
I think they were thinking that it was probably because, like,
yeah,
Zlatan kind of. I think it would have been soft, but I've seen them given, especially like, kind of, John. You look at Italian and Spanish matches, you've definitely seen them given before.
But like, he did shoulder him in the back, like, you know, as much as Zlatan made an absolute meal of it. Oh no, Jesus, that replay, he made an absolute. There was no foul.
Yeah, look, I didn't. There was look to be a bit of contact in the legs as well, but yeah.
Donnarumma there with the most stereotypical Italian hand gesture of all time. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Don't think he's a fan. God, Milan are 16-1 now.
Still fancy them?
They're all over them at the minute.
Injury time winner.
Yeah, back into 15-1, so somebody else must have jumped on.
Free kick.
Have they shown how much injury time is to be played?
No, it's
not up yet.
Just come up now. 3 minutes.
Right.
They're back into 13s now, so 13-1 to win and 11-1 to win 2-1. Just a bizarre difference. What kind of ham would back them to win 2-1? Oh, deflection corner. Oh no, deflected off his own man. Goal kick. I think we can wrap this one up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are we back on here?
I think back on Sunday.
Tomorrow? Are we not doing tomorrow night? Quick update, no?
Yeah, we'll do the quick update tomorrow. So the 15-minute preview of the Premier League and the rest of the games.
What time is that going to be at? 8, 9?
I'm flexible.
Yeah, I'm flexible too.
Did we pick the time now?
You pick the time, Dave.
We say 9 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, suits.
Yeah. All right, guys. So
we'll
9 p.m. tomorrow.
And then we'll be back covering the Premiership Sunday. Last bit.
4 p.m. Is that right? They're all on.
4 p.m. Yeah.
4 p.m. GMT. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be back here at 3:30 to a little bit of preview and recap of our tips, and then the Premier League kicking off at 4 o'clock. So we've had quite a few fans click in and click out tonight. So, or not fans, say viewers, probably more appropriate, but die-hard fans. All right. Well, we came close again, so it was an enjoyable night, and stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, boy.